He waits atop a throne of skulls.
We're here. It's time. Eternal Challenger League Qualifier number 6. We're getting through this season rather fast. And the reason why it's today instead of Saturday is because I actually have to play in a Warhammer event tomorrow morning. So we're going to be doing the Eternal Challenger League today. So welcome everyone. Glad to see you guys. Starting a little bit earlier, trying to get some of you folks over in Europe a bit of a better time frame here. But as far as today's tournament goes, let's go ahead and take a look at who's playing. So, in the first match of the day, we have Chief. So BBB Chief, he's going to be facing off against ODM Loopy. In the second match of the day, we're going to have Rigson facing off against Zero. It's going to be quite a bit of fun. Oh man, I just got like something caught in my throat. My apologies, guys. We'll get back to business here in just a second. So yeah, it's going to be Chief versus Loopy and then Rigson versus Zero. And of course, the winner of this, just like all the other Eternal Challenger Leagues, will be carving their name into the tablet of Lizard Moses, or Tehedwin as he's actually known. So he'll be getting the 6th spot. So far we have Zyphos, El Halcon, Felcon, Romulan Zog, Reja. All are going to be playing in the finals, and we're going to see what happens in the grand finals, which isn't that far off, actually. We have 7 and 8 after this, and then, of course, we're going to have the grand finals. I have to schedule with all the players, make sure they're all available, so it'll probably be within, 2 to 5 weeks, I guess, would guess, after the last one. Yeah, something like that. So anyways, guys, we're going to be jumping into the first match of the day, which is going to be a showdown between Chief and Loopy, and it looks like they actually switched spots here in the scoreboard here, so let me actually go ahead and change that real quick, just so it's a little bit easier for you guys to track in the game in terms of the bounce of power. So Loopy is going to be on this side, and Chief is going to be on this side. Some treachery going on, it would seem. And today's going to be live. So these aren't replays. This is actually live because on the last Eternal Challenger League, we did all replays just because of technical difficulties. But now we're back to our regular format of being live. So start when ready. So the first battle is going to be on the Altdorf Outskirts, which is a classic multiplayer map. Great terrain, good line of sight blocking, a really cool looking map. You have Altdorf in the background. I think it's great. So it's going to be Dark Elves facing off against Greenskins. This is a fun matchup for sure. As far as the bans go, it was actually BBB was banning first. So Chief actually, he changed his name. But Chief actually banned the Vampire Coast and picked Greenskins. So the players do a pick and ban system. In the next game, it's going to be the Dark Elves picking and banning. So it goes back and forth and back and forth. The first 2 games are going to be best of 3s, and the finals will indeed be a best of 5. So 1 second, guys. I just got to go shut my door so noise doesn't violate the sanctity of our stream. Yeah, Rigson is a greenskin man. Yeah, he's a greenskin man. Yeah, that's his jam. Yeah, the internet's all good. The Omnisci was kind. My Nurgle Plague Marines infested it with a ferric blight that made it more accommodating towards my Nurgle following internet cables. Yes. Yeah, it's going to be great. The grand finals are going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of really good players who've qualified so far. So like in the last one, I could usually like tell like who was going to be in like the top like couple brackets, but now it's just like I have no idea. Like anyone could win that. We have so many good players who've qualified. And we got a new member, Mads Bo Anderson. Thank you so much for sponsoring the channel. Have a nice we're having a nice kickoff here to the stream. Hopefully you're enjoying, and also you have access to some new emojis and stuff now. It's just Palpatine just shrieking in the background. I love it. It's great stuff. So Palpatine, thank you for your service in the screen block, and let's go ahead and take a look at the armies. So for the forces of Lupi over here, he does indeed have Malekith the Witch King, so he's going to be up here, and as far as spells go, he does have the Soul Stealer, the Blades, and the, what is that one? Chill Wind and Power of Darkness. So bringing a lot of spells, but again, Power of Darkness does give you pretty good winds of magic, so he's going to be quite flexible in that respect. Front line's going to be Bleak Sword, so he's not going to be trying to contest the front line with his infantry. Rather, he's going to be trying to win the front line using the chariots. So he's going to just throw in the Bleak Swords, countercharge with the chariots. And this is a really good pick as well. The Sisters of Singing Doom are solid, because these guys do, of course, cause terror, and against Greenskins, that's super important. Over here, he does also have some Cold One Knights, and Cold One Knights most likely going to be countering any sort of Greenskin mobility, Boar Boys, Wolf Chariots, all that kind of meme stuff. But yeah, having some mobility and kind of anti-large battlefield control isn't really a bad choice. But yeah, front line's going to be Bleak Swords. He does have Malekith up in the skies, Chariots, and it looks like there are some Harganeth Executioners in the back who aren't going to be taking the initial beating. Obviously, doing that isn't going to be the best for them. They just want to follow up after the Wah is wearing off. I mean, yes, they're tankier than Bleak Swords, but they're an expensive unit. You don't want these guys to be taking that fat beating for the Dark Gods here. Well, or for Kane, or whoever the hell these guys worship. And for the Greenskin, for the big old Wah, and this is going to be played by BBB Chief. He does have Goblin Wolf Riders, just a massive vanguard, very lore friendly. The Greenskins often use Wolf Riders as a bit of a vanguard in lore. They get up there, they harass, they cackle, they do their thing. So he does have Goblin Wolf Riders, and they're going to be pretty annoying against Malekith. I mean, Volume of Fire, Malekith isn't like one of those big, heavily armored lords. He only has 80 armor on his dragon, so you still can get some peppering damage in with the Wolf Riders. For the main line, he's got Goblins, 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 down to Goblin Town, which is going to be good. Secondary line is going to be his Archer Corps, Savage Orc Air Boys, to Warlords Boys in the back, and he's actually going to be doing some of that sweet troll pounding. Now, trolls are actually a good pick here, because they, number one, or at least in this, based on what his opponent brought, is they're really good against chariots. They can pin them down, they can beat them up, they can beat down all of the infantry over here. Pretty much a hard counter against everything. As long as he can keep them away from the Cold One Knights, those trolls are just going to be going to Pound City. In the back, he does also have the Broken Tusk Mob of the Orc Boar Boy Biggins, and up in the sky, he does have Azag. So Azag versus Malekith is an interesting duel. Azag has a lot less HP. It's not a Wyvern. However, he does have Poison plus Spirit Leech, which makes him a pretty good duelist. So 480 weapon strength against 520. Malekith would probably still win that if he uses Soul Stealer or Mark of Pain, but even still, I mean, he's going to be able to go fisticuffs if he wants to. So good stuff here. So start when ready. No need to wait once game is up. Oh, it seems like they already know that. All right. So the battle's underway. Goblin Wolf Riders are going to be scooting out here, going to be trying to get some free shots on Malekith and the forces of the Dark Elves with a pretty heavy flank overload. They got some Cold One Knights here. Cold One Knight certainly could potentially chase the Goblins off. They don't want to be giving up that free fire. He'd rather use like the Bleak Swords and that cheap screen to just waste the ammunition of the Goblin Wolf Riders. That's actually a lot of these guys. So there's 4 of them here. The Greenskin main army, I mean, it's going to be pretty good. I mean, Goblins, even with Wah, are going to be pretty juicy against like Bleak Swords. Their melee attack is going to go up to the 40s, and 25 weapon strength against Bleak Swords who have, 28? It's not that big of a difference. So, I mean, little Goblins are very, very cost-effective lads. So over here, it looks like they're going to be shooting into the flanks, and it looks like there was some sort of an attack here onto the Cold One Knights. I didn't see what actually did that. Maybe it was a Spirit Leech or a volley coming in from the Goblins. I don't think there's any sort of artillery or missile effects that could have hit that. So yeah, it must have been a Goblin, volley here. Man, that's some really good damage onto those guys. Now the Chariots are going to be charging into the front, and if Chief is paying attention, he's going to be able able to get the trolls in very quickly to just counter this. I mean, honestly, he needs to send them up like really, really quick here to make sure those guys don't get anything free. And right here, you can see that Loopy is going to recognize the trolls and their threat, so he is going to be pulling back. Now, the goblins are actually getting some annoying fire here until the bleak swords, and shooting them in the backs is going to mean they don't have their shields, obviously. So it looks like there's going to be a Spirit Leech going down on the Cold One Knights right here, which is going to do some okay damage. And you can see that the Savage Orc Airboy archers are going to be shooting in, and the Cold One Knights are going to be getting Last Samurai a little bit as they charge in, but they're going to be charging into the goblins. And now you can expect to see the trolls coming forward. So the trolls in reserve are just going to be bum rushing forward, coming for that ass right now. We're going to see if they get it. So it looks like, oh, Malekith coming in on the trolls. Beautiful play here by Loopy. So he baits the trolls forward, pulls these guys back, charges with Malekith, who causes terror, and trolls have terrible leadership. Plus Word of Pain. Beautiful play there by Loopy. Now in the front, the Warlords boys and the trolls are all going to be surging in, but he's doing a very good job pulling the chariots back. Sisters of Singing Doom are also going to be charging in, which means these trolls and all these greenskins right here are probably just going to tear out like instantly. So that was a very, very good flank overload. I like that quite a bit. You can see Golden Riders here are going to be charging in away from the pressure that these archers are providing. So the archers are pretty much just going to be confined to the back line, shooting against some of these chaff units. Not going to be too super impactful. Now the Broken Tusk Mob is going to be charging in, but it's still not going to be a great situation for them. Yes, they're fighting large targets, but you have to look at the minutiae of things. So you can see here that the Sisters of Singing Doom are also mixed in with this fight, which means they're going to get rampaged, they're going to get terror routed, they're going to get chased down. Their bacon is indeed going to be fried right now, and it is not going to be good and tasty. So Loopy has gotten some of the chariots into the back line. He's done a very good job avoiding the trolls. He has two groups of Cold One Knights also fighting trolls, so he's getting all the appropriate targets on top of the trolls to minimize their effectiveness. However, on the other side, you can see Chief has kind of stabilized his position. The bounce bar is actually still in his favor a little bit. He's able to get all the Greenskin Wah, just overload these Bleak Swords, and now he's going to be, crumpet in here, and Azag is still in good shape. Azag could get in here and help. The Savage Orc Airboys could put up an okay fight, but I think with two groups of Cav coming in, it's going to be tough for them to hold. 10 leadership, 7 leadership. We're going to see if they hold. In the meantime, Azag is, he hasn't gotten too involved in the battle, but the Greenskins actually still have a really nice little missile line here. Savage Orc Airboys can't shoot in, and honestly, this infantry core here for the Dark Hills probably is going to get crumped by these Gits. So Loopy with a very good start to the game, but here you can see Chief is rallying. He's coming back. He's consolidating his forces, and now he's getting a pretty good push, beating down these very expensive units with rather cheap units. Trolls, goblins, all that kind of stuff. In the meantime, Malekith is looking for an opportunity to maybe duel up in the skies, going after Azag, but the Goblin Wolf Rider archers are back in business. They're going to be poking him. It's not going to be like devastating or anything, but nonetheless, it is going to be impactful. Now in the back, Loopy is still getting some good pressure. The Cold One Knights plus the chariots are causing a lot of disruption, and let's see what the Greenskins have to stop that. Oh, Malekith with a big terror route. That is game-changing. He comes in here, the trolls, and all these guys get terror routed off. Big Daddy Malekith doing a great job stabilizing this position, but man, this is a really, really good game by both players so far. The trolls in the distance are going to be breaking. Azag needs to get his hands dirty. He's been a little bit too passive this game. I think he needs to fly over here and maybe attack the chariots, free up these archers. Yeah, because over here, this is a like a death sentence. If he goes in there, he's going to get attacked by Malekith and the Cold One Riders and all that kind of good stuff here. But the bounce bar is ebbing slowly into the favor of the Dark Elves, but this is a good play here by Chief. He gets in there, he gets his big old Wyvern, and now he's going to start beating down the chariots, which is going to free up his archers, his Baconators, all kinds of stuff. So very, very good play there. Certainly what he needed to do to potentially get back in this game. Now there's going to be a big onslaught here. You can see Cold One Knights getting tagged with the Spirit Leech, Cold One Knights here, and another chariot. There are some goblins still fighting, and also something else to recognize about his build. Troll builds often can take a beating initially, but the trolls do come back, they heal themselves, so there could be something to be said for that. In the meantime, the Broken Tusk Mob is going to be chasing off the Cold One Chariots, and down here on the ground, the Cold One Knights are going to be going after the boys, which, I mean, at least they're like not Goblin Archers, so if they turn and fight, I mean, maybe countercharging there would have been a good idea. These are just Spear Riders, they're not that great against infantry. So the Savage Orcs, maybe Azag could come over here and fight with them. They might be able to actually kill quite a few of these guys if they had some leadership helping them, but it looks like, yeah, without that, they're just going to break rather quickly. And yeah, there was also a chariot in there. So trolls are going to be surging back in. Goblin Wolf Rider archers are still poking in as well. Very, very close fight here. Man, this is close. The Greenskins are pulling this one back and forth and back and forth. You can also see the trolls in the distance are going to be chasing down the Sisters of Singing Doom, getting rid of that sweet terror. And the trolls and Goblin Spears are kind of reuniting. And now Loopy's Goon Squad here. So his Cold One Riders, his Cold One Chariot, all these guys are getting a little bit beaten up here now. No, this is the big threat. You can see Malekith is still in pretty good shape, still a force to be reckoned with. And oh man, losing these trolls could be a little bit tricky though. Man, it's too bad the trolls aren't more unified with the main army here, but the trolls are going to be piling in here. Some of these Savage Orc Airboys are going to be fighting, and you can see here that Chief is being very conservative with Azag, but in this situation, I think that actually is good because, you know, there's a very powerful core of Dark Elves here. Getting in there and getting caught could lose you the game. So these trolls are healing. There's 8 of them here. There's 7 here. That healing is only going to make the Greenskins stronger and stronger. So this is an insanely close game here. The Goblin Wolf Rider Archer is still shooting in. And now look at this. All these guys are rampaging, which is great for the Greenskins. Now this is a really good catch here by Loopy. Getting the chariots, chasing off this healthy group of trolls is going to be quite impactful. But I think the Greenskins might just be able to just out-attrition these guys. They're just all over the place, just beating down these Cold Wind Riders. Goblins are coming in. They're just shanking these elite cav. And look at that. Just like that, the Dark Elf army is starting to evaporate. And again, Chief with a very good play here from Azag is going to be chasing off the Cold Wind Chariots with the Spirit Leech. Now, Malekith is coming in here. You got to respect the Malekith. Malekith could, of course, kill him rather quickly with a little bit of help, of course. But, oh man, he needs to get out of here. This could cost him the game. If Azag does get caught and pinned down here and potentially killed, that is going to be catastrophic. But it looks like he is able to get away, and he's quite a bit faster. 110 speed against 90 of Malekith. Wyverns, of course, or Wyverns are actually quite a bit faster than the Black Dragon. So the big Black Dragon is going to be in hot pursuit here. Now, as far as what the Dark Elves have, here in the forest, they have a couple Harganeth Executioners. They have 17 here. They have 3 Cold Wind Chariots, which are actually shaken and beaten up. And the Greenskins have a huge wall left. I mean, they have a lot of stuff. Honestly, the Greenskins at this point probably could just kind of pressure over here and get rid of the Chariots and the Harganeth Executioners. And if that is done, I don't know if there's going to be anything left. I mean, Malekith could land and get a really lucky terror out, but as soon as Malekith lands to fight these forces here, Azag can then countercharge him and get the poison and all that good stuff going. So man, these trolls are going to work here for sure. So the Restiers are going to be getting tagged with the Breath Attack. The Harganeth Executioners are going to be engaging, and the Chariots are going to be coming back in. So this is going to be the final showdown right here, as the Harganeth Executioners are going to meet their fate at the ends of these Goblin Wolf Riders' little shanks right here. It's a beautiful charge right there. Those Executioners are actually probably going to break in a matter of seconds. I mean, they're just so low at this point that any sort of pressure is going to buckle them. However, Malekith does charge back in. A very good Spirit Leech, getting rid of the Chariots, because if he gets rid of the Chariots and the Harganeth Executioners and all those guys, then Malekith is simply going to be up in the air. He's going to have to land and fight, which is going to be a very tough situation. And the Cold Wind Chariots are going to be rampaging towards this Greenskin army, as are these Harganeth Executioners. Well, they're not rampaging, but metaphorically speaking. And the Trolls are simply going to come in and be like, not in my house. And they're just going to be, telling them to get out of their swamp, going to be clubbing these guys. It's going to be great. So we're going to see if the Dark Elves can pull this one out. It's certainly going to be tough. Very good Chillwind right there, tagging quite a few of those Greenskin forces. Azak up in the skies is going to be pulling back. Malekith's looking for a good engagement opportunity, but he doesn't really have one. Now, as far as troops on the grounds go, oh, look at the Goblin Wolf Riders came back. I don't think Dark Elves have anything else. I mean, they have a couple of troops here. Oh, and the Harganeth Executioners come back, so that means Malekith isn't going to be taking that leadership penalty. He can get his breath attacked. He's a little bit more, free to fire right now. Good little breath attack right there. He's going to be breaking some of those guys. And you can see here, Loopy is fighting to the bitter end. And Azag might be getting to the point where if he can get some troll support, maybe he wants to jump in here. But look, at the Greenskin army isn't much to much to look at either. But yeah, this is where you go for the Alpha Strike, especially if you have a WA. Get in there, attack with Azag. You should be able to finish off Malekith. I mean, the trolls do get terror routed, but he's so surrounded, he's going to be switching targets. And Azag is a very, very good duelist. Like I said, as far as like casters go, he's kind of similar to Malekith in that respect. And the poison is going to be quite substantial once he is able to make contact. So trolls are piling in here. Everyone's going in, just the balls deep final stand here. In the distance, you can see the Cold Wind Chariots are coming back in, but I don't think they're going to get here in time, as Azag is getting some huge attacks. Malekith is poisoned, and the bounce power is flowing heavily into the favor of the WA. The Green Tide looks like they're going to be taking this game. What a cockfight here in this battle. Azag just disengages here, takes out the Chariot to get rid of that pressure, and Malekith is going to be breaking due to army losses. What a beautiful game by Chief and a comeback. The beginning was relatively rough for him. The Dark Elves had some great engagements and really buckled his formations, but his tenacity was able to get him back in the game, and he is going to be going up 1-0 here. And Loopy played super well too. Even though Chief had some really good answers against his Chariots, he was able to get them around and have some beautiful plays. So that was just a great match by both players. Awesome stuff. So let's go ahead and update the scoreboard here. So Chief is going to be going up 1-0 in this best of 3 series. And here we go. So let's get the blocker up so there's no shenanigans on the army picks. And it is time. Amazing game. All right, so Loopy picks and bans. Start when ready. All right, guys. So I was very focused on the commentary there, so my apologies if I missed some stuff in chat. We have a donation from Jason Denny coming in with the rock hard 199. 2 ECLs in 1 week. You're spoiling us, dude. It's my job, man. I love it. We're here. I got you covered, Jason. Thank you for your perpetual support over the past couple of years. You have been awesome, man. So thank you so much. And yeah, we're here. Oh, the map. So they're looking for the map, and I think they got it. I can minimize and get it for them. Oh, looks like they got it. Pillar above. We're good to go. All right, so now we can take some questions from chat. He says, Pescarable says, Turn, you need to watch the Astartes episode. Dude, I have. I've watched it like 5 times. Dude, I was rock hard. That thing is so good. If any of you guys haven't seen it, if a mod could actually drop a link in here to the Astartes video, it is so good. Episode 4, it's the newest one. God damn, it is so damn good. So Tiamat64 says, Turn, brilliant timing on the stream. Great first battle. The missus just told me she has homemade cheesecake too. Oh, dude, What a great stream, dude. You're gonna be sitting quite happy over there. Cheesecake and some good battles. Life is good. Life is good indeed. Let's see. Did I miss anything else? No, it looks like it's mostly just commentary on the game. Yeah. That was a really good battle. It's a great time to be off. Yeah, I know some of you guys over here in the States, at least, are probably still at work, but those of you guys in Europe, it must be, what, like 8 o'clock right now? So like 9, what is it, like 9:30 in England right now? In Central Europe, what, like in 10, 11 in Eastern Europe? So yeah, hopefully we can keep it going for you guys. We'll try and keep a pretty good pace. So, Loopy is going to pick Wood Elves, and I can tell you from experience, the first time I ever played Loopy was against his Wood Elves, and he really caught me off guard with how good he is with the Wood Elves. So we're going to see him at his peak performance here, facing off. He bans Bretonia. So Bretonia is pretty much a hard counter against Wood Elves in most people's eyes. So he bans Bretonia. Very, very good stuff. A very savvy pick there, as well as ban. And we're going to see what Chief is going to be picking. It's funny because his name has the MMM here, so it makes me think like he's like typing a thinking thing. Like, all right. But no, he's not. We got Misha here. Thank you, Misha. Appreciate it, as always. Thank you for the kind words. And you're welcome, Manuel. Of course. I have no insights into Total War Warhammer 3. I wish I did. I just know it's something I'm very much going to be looking forward to. And I'm going to be hitting it pretty hard in the paint when that comes out. I'll be doing like guides and everything and trying to go real deep in that one when it eventually does come out, which is probably going to be some time. So this is game 2. This is going to be Chief took game 1. Loopy is down a game, and it is a best of 3. So if Chief wins this, he's going to be going on to the finals to face the winner of our second best of 3. So we'll go ahead and show you guys for anyone joining. Yeah, I know it's pretty late over there in Moscow, Von Karstein. I would imagine so. But I appreciate you joining, man. And here we have the brackets for today. So it's going to be Chief versus Loopy, and then Rigson facing off against Zero. And the winner, of course, will be getting their name added to the tablet of Tehenowin, which is the tradition of the Eternal Challenger League. So it's going to be Zyphos, El Halcon, Falcon, Romulan Dog, and Wareja, who won last week's in a very exciting fashion. And yeah, we're going to see who gets there. And the finals are, of course, a big 8-man tournament, so it's going to be quite sweet. So live in a pile dirt, to answer your question. I actually was at Games Workshop the other day, and I was experimenting with the contrast paints. Now, I think the contrast paints are quite good with for beginners and for certain things. Like if you're painting a horde of like plague bearers or poxwalkers or anything that's just kind of fleshy and like it's a horde of just units, it's really good. Like they're super good for that because you literally do one coat and you're pretty much done with like the skin. You don't have to really do highlights. You can just be lazy and it's good. However, for more detailed work, I feel like doing the traditional painting system of like basing, washing, highlighting, edge highlighting, layering, I think that's still going to be nicer looking. But if you're doing a horde, the contrast paints are super awesome. Like we just want to get an army done quick, and it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad. So we got Gideon. He says, you got a crowd from all over. Turn South Africa, Nigeria, Spain, Ukraine, Russia. Yeah, we do, I guess. That's great. Yeah, it is great. Pone says he can't listen with any volume right now. Yeah, it's a shame. Going to full chub for Sigmar. This is always great. So it looks like it's going to be Wood Elves versus Tomb Kings. Now, when Tomb Kings first came out, one of their worst matchups was actually the Wood Elves. Granted, things have changed. Way Watchers have been nerfed. Changes have been made to the Tomb Kings, of course. So it's a very different matchup now, but nonetheless, it's still going to be a good one. The 13th ever chosen. How many units do you think I've painted in my lifetime? Well, I painted about 35 Poxwalkers, 6 Plague Marines. I painted Mortarion. I painted 1 Bloat Drone. I painted a Contemptor Dreadnought. I painted probably like 8 or 9 Terminators. I painted over 2,000 points for sure in Death Guard. But Lady Turin has painted a lot of my army as well. My lovely hot wife. Yes. Professor Pone says Turin's greeting from the U.S. Hey, Aiden, it's going quite well. We're getting ready for the second game here. It's going to be Chief, who's going under MMM today, facing off against Loopy. I believe he's the clan leader of Clan BBB. And I believe they're a Spanish clan. So, and ODM, I believe, is a French clan, I think. And our boy Zero is going to be up next. It's going to be good. And we got Pipes up in here. Professor Pipes. Yeah, blow drones are really good. The blow drones are really, really solid. Granted, the tanks, the Plague Bearers Crawlers, are a little bit better simply because they're toughness 8 and they have 12 wounds, and they also have a mortar on top of them. But again, the drones are better in certain matchups in which you're facing a lot of small arms fire and a lot of swarming infantry because they can fall back and shoot. But the tanks, you can also auto-explode. I mean, you can auto-explode both, but the drones don't do a lot of damage when they explode, whereas the tanks do. So they're a little bit more better. More better. That doesn't make sense, God damn it. I'm sorry, I just woke up. But yes, they're quite a bit better. So how are my viewers spread continent-wise? So about 65% of my, 35% of my viewership comes from the United States. Probably like 45% are from Europe, and the rest are from various parts of the world. Yeah. So, but mostly European. European is the biggest demographic of my viewership, actually. All right, Palpatine is gone. He did a good job. Perhaps we'll be back in the next movie. And we are going to see. So, Loopy, he's going to be playing the Wood Elves, and he's going to be going in with the double dragon build. So he does have a Forest Dragon, and then he does also have a Glade Lord atop of Forest Dragon. So there's going to be some juicy breath attacks, and a surprising amount of high DPS, high armor piercing, stopping power coming in from the Wood Elves. He does also have a Spellsinger with the Lore of Life, so certainly a very powerful Goon Squad. Now, for the ground force, he's got Dryads, Sisters of Thorn, Eternal Guards, and yeah. So basically, he's going to be trying to win the game with the Dragons and grind out the Tomb King's infantry using the Dryads and some of the other troops. So, for the Tomb King's army in the front line, it's going to be Skeleton Spears. Secondary line here for Chief is going to be Skeleton Warriors. So his front line is certainly inferior when it's compared to the Wood Elves. The Dryads will easily be able to munch through a lot of these troops. However, in the back, he does have Nehekar Horsemen. Cetra is going to be up on the fat, angry Sphinx, and he's got double Tomb Scorpion plus a Necrotech. So, Tomb Scorpions aren't like meant versus large fights, but they can do pretty good. They have good attack animations, plus they're going to be teamed up with Cetra. So, this battle is really going to come down to the micromanagement and the monster fight. Can the Dragons get the better fights? Can Cetra get the upper hand on those guys with his Tomb Scorpions? We will find out. Because I think this Tomb King's army, with the Horsemen taken into account, will probably win this fight, because cycle charging from them, rear charges, the Tomb Kings will be able to grind out this infantry fight, I think, based on what I see with the Horsemen. He does also have a couple groups of Skeleton Horsemen Archers. Good utility. They can poke the Glade Lord, the Spellsinger. The Dragons, Forest Dragons, 50 armor on these guys, and the Glade Lord only has 50, so they're lightly armored. Skeleton Archers can actually do some pretty good damage. So the Glade Lord is actually going to be the Prey of an Othrama. So it's going to be the one with the snare. So it's not going to be the male Glade Lord. There is not going to be a Helm of Discord. Felcon weeps this day for his male Glade Lord. Yes. It is time. No worries, Jonathan. Canada is awesome. I've been in Canada several times, actually. Yeah. No, this isn't the finals. This is the first set of games here for the day. But my dad lived in Canada for several years. He actually has dual citizenship. I mean, of course, my dad was firstly an American citizen, but he had a job that he lived in Canada for many years, and he actually was able to get dual citizenship. So I stayed in Canada for quite some time. My parents were divorced, so I used to kind of alternate. So I used to go stay with my dad in Canada for periods of time while he was working. So yeah, cool stuff. So here in the ground fight, you can see, oh man, the Dryads actually got switched at the last second to a massive Vanguard. So Loopy's going to be coming in balls deep here in the back line. The Dryads are going to be hammering. Now, are the Tomb Scorpions going to go in the front to deal with the Dryads, or are they going to kind of sit in the center and wait to see what the Dragons do? Because the Dragon pack is coming in. The Sisters of Thorn also coming in. And look at this massive pincer coming in from the Dryads. That is so cool looking. And yeah, here comes the charge. The Nehekar Horsemen are going to be taking this fight, and the Dryads are going to get pounded a little bit by that charge. But, they do have physical resist and 60 armor, so they're not complete slouches. Now, the backline is going to be getting hit with a heavy onslaught, which, I don't know, it looks cool, but is it going to pay off? He's really going to need to get some huge value here from the Glade Lords and some of these other troops to make sure that, the Dryads don't just sacrifice themselves. So the Dryads are holding. They're not immune to Psychology. Oh, they actually are, because they have Frenzy. That's right. So they are immune to Psychology while their Frenzy's active. But these Dragons need to get active like ASAP. If they're just going to be, they need to get down here. This is a great choice right here, actually. Getting both the Dragons and taking out the Tomb Scorpion would be quite nice, for sure, especially getting on that Necrotech. But it looks like the first breath attack is going to be coming down. And oh man, those Skeleton Warriors get melted over there. So the Dryads are going to be coming in. The other Dragon is going to be landing and attacking the Nehekar Horsemen. But where is this Glade Lord going to be landing? That is the question. Over here, Cetra is going to be attacking on the ground. These Dryads are going to get broken off, so they might actually run off the map, although no, it's a little bit far, so I think they're okay. They're probably going to come back. The other Dryads in the back are getting mulched down, so now it's going to be Eternal Guard mostly, so he has sacrificed a lot of his Dryads, and we're going to see if he can get his money back right here. Now, the Dragon Goon Squad is going to be going down here attacking the Nehekar Horsemen, which I feel like they could have gone after that very isolated Necrotech and the Tomb Scorpion, and that would have been like free money. He could have easily killed the Necrotech, but again, we're going to see here. The Sisters of Thorn are also fighting. Some of the Eternal Guard are going to be surging in, and the Eternal Guard across the entire front line are actually losing the battle slightly, because again, Nehekar Horsemen charges have been able to do some pretty good work. Now, some Dryads are going to be rallying up on the hill. He has 42 Dryads right here, 38 right here. But yeah, here comes Cetra. Big Daddy Cetra is going to be coming in. And this Dragon's actually a little bit pinned down, so he has to use that Prey of an Othrama a little bit defensively, which actually kind of sucks. But Cetra is going to be kind of pinned here, but it's not really going to yield any fruit other than letting his Dragon get away safely. His Spellsinger with Lore of Life is a little bit pinned down by the Nehekar Horsemen, but they're going to be getting chewed down by these Eternal Guard. But the Tomb Scorpion is also going to be coming in. Tomb Scorpion could probably take out that Spellslinger in sustained combat if it stays there. But again, it looks like it's going to be able to push out the back on its pigeon, and we'll see how it's going to go. So the dragon in the meantime is going to be jumping to the front line, going to be mulching down on the skeleton spearmen, which is going to be nice. It'll crumble them rather quickly. And the other dragon up in the skies is just going to be sitting with its bow and taking some pot shots. So the Dryads are coming back in. The Car Horsemen are going to be doing some cleanup duty, trying to break those guys off the map, which isn't a bad idea. You know, get that free value wherever you can. But the rear charge, I don't think it paid off. I think using the Dryads in the front line would have been... I mean, it's hard to know. With the Vanguard deployment, it could work, it might not. Had it been a bow-centric build, it would have worked very well, but just based on what his opponent brought, it was a risky gambit, and it did not pay off, I don't think. The Dryads in the front would have been able to crunch through very, very quickly, and then the Eternal Guard could simply just react to the Horsemen and things like that. But anyways, the dragon here is going to be jumping in, trying to help out, and you can see here, Loopy, realizing the backline fight is a little bit lost, is going to be grabbing his dragons and trying to just sweep through the front line and win all those engagements, because at that point, the Eternal Guard can then push forward and cause a lot of problems for the big construct. So he might be able to get his way back in the game with some really good breath attacks here, and ooh, that is a good one. That was good and tasty. So two groups of the skeleton spears and regular skeletons here are going to get crumped right there. Beautiful cast there by Loopy. So he's certainly on the warpath here, trying to fight his way back into the game, and he might be able to. I mean, two dragons, if they have the support of the Eternal Guard, that's going to be a tough cookie to crack, because the Tomb Scorpions and etc. are really going to struggle against these type of infantry. Of course, anti-large, armor piercing, very, very good leadership, you name it. On the far side, we have some Eternal Guard fighting as well. These guys probably are going to be breaking off, and the last of the Dryads in the back line pretty much crumped off the map. So those guys are not going to be coming back. So it's really going to be down to the center pocket here for Loopy. And if he can get the advantage in a couple of these monster fights, like get the two dragons on Cetra and like pin it in place and get some really good damage, he could certainly pulled this game back. Sisters of Thorn have some debuffs as well, and buffs. Shield of Thorns and the Curse. And it looks like, is he going to go for it though? Is he going to take the monster fight? It looks like he's going to leave the Eternal Guard to kind of fight there. Those guys are probably going to get, you know, broken off here in a second and get terror routed. And it looks like he's going to be going for another breath attack, just methodically working down this front line, which has been working out for him. It's been very, very good kind of push back into this game here. And you can see here these spearmen are going to be breaking off. And as far as the Tomb Kings go, they don't really have too much infantry left. They do have some skeleton warriors here. These guys are going to be crumbling here. So that is something that's nice. Pretty much the entire Tomb King's army is large, and the remaining Eternal Guard, if they're teamed up with the dragon and they actually stay and fight shoulder to shoulder, that could actually be pretty tough. But again, these guys over here are probably going to get crumped real quick. They're alone, they're isolated, and that is unfortunate because there are 53 right here and another 50, and there's still a lot of skeleton infantry here who are going to be able to kind of really pressure the situation. So the High Elves have, the Wood Elves have reformed this position here. We're going to see if they can get back. We're going to see if they can get back, guys. Have some quick water right here. Yeah, Dwarf Vanguard builds can work okay, for sure. Craven Othram is going to be going down on the Skeleton Horseman Archers. Nice little catch there. They're easily going to be able to wipe those guys out. Sisters of Thorn are, you know, relatively powerful in melee combat. 34, 32, and 28. Charge bonus of 30 plus 2 dragons. Those guys are going to be crumbling rather quickly. And the Spellsinger is going to be hanging out with the Spearmen here, but I feel like Loopy's army is pretty fat and thick. I mean, he has 2 Tomb Scorpions, a Necrotech for healing, plus Cetra the Imperishable. That is a meaty-ass army right there. And as far as skeleton support, there's still 92 skeletons right here. These guys are going to be crumbling, of course, but I don't know. There is a chance. If the dragons are able to get some really good attacks on the constructs and wear those guys down, maybe these Eternal Guard actually with a little bit of a bold charge. I would have stayed put with them because they're not braced right now. So all these charges are just going to ravage them pretty aggressively. Oh man, and there's actually double Necrotechs here. I did not notice that. So there's 2 of those guys dropping heals, which is just going to make it so much harder to kill the constructs. Now the dragons have to choose right now. Do they fight with their spears or do they... Oh, a big breath attack coming down right here. This could be really good. And that is a nice one. I have to say, Loopy has had some amazing breath attacks this entire game. They've just been super on point here. So maybe he's just going to be trying to clean up the scraps using these sisters and the dragons and just getting rid of the mobile units. I don't know. We'll find out. So this one dragon is going to be turning about. Force Dragon going to be jumping down here to attack. It attacks and it protects. Yeah, I don't think the Air Force can carry this. He does go down with the dragon and attack Cetra and get some okay damage, but Cetra is a beast of a combatant. I mean, very, very beastly. But the Force Dragon does have the poison, which is going to help. But man, there's just like no other Wood Elves here. The Spellsinger's here, I guess I think everyone has to fight. All hands on deck. I don't think you could afford to be conservative here. The Forest Dragon needs to get down there and fight as well, the Glade Lord that is. And it looks like there's going to be some Witchcraft going down from Cetra. He's going to be casting the Dejos Incantation of Cursed Blades here. And the Spellsinger's going to be just sitting up in the air. The other dragon, maybe he's waiting for a breath attack. I think that's what it is. Loopy, of course, seems to be the master of breath attacks. I think he's going to be waiting to get some juicy ones here in the back. And the Pigeon does jump down there and get a really good jump actually on one of the Necrotechs. Oh man, this Spellsinger is just beating the brakes off this Necrotech. Beautiful stuff here, and Setra's actually having a little bit of a hard time in this duel because the Dragon's Poison is actually quite effective. And Loopy with another Breath Attack is going to be melting those guys. Not as much damage as the earlier Breath Attacks, but yeah, get in there and kill that Necrotect, or maybe go after Setra. It's hard to say. So the Glade Lord is going to be jumping. Oh, and this is exactly what he needs. He has the 2 versus 1 on Setra, which is going to be huge. Now, if he can burn down Setra, that's going to be pretty good. Balance of Power is going in the favor of the Tomb Kings, however, and the Ushofti summon has been in the back pocket the entire game, is going to get netted by the Pravenoth Ramo, which is very, very good, because now they're just going to sit there and desummon, which is going to be quite nice. Sisters of Thorn pushing in. We even have some Eternal Guard coming back in, and Setra's taking quite a bit of damage. Man, what a game here. I actually really hope it goes to Game 3. This has just been a great series between these two players. So, in the meantime, Setra is going to be taking a lot of damage. He is cursed as well, so his melee attack is going to be quite low. The Dragons are trying to beat him down the best they can. And is he going to be pulling back? Loopy looks like he might be disengaging here. Oh man, there is a legion of Nehekar horsemen coming in. That is a lot of stopping power here, but it looks like the Dragon is going to continue to fight. The Spellsinger is out of the picture for now, but if it comes back and is able to get some heals on the Dragons, that could actually be pretty impactful here. So the Sisters of Thorn are going to be breaking off. The Eternal Guard are all broken. The Tomb Kings have this massive, just grinding army down here. But Setra's taking a lot of damage, but he's very, very tanky. He has a huge HP pool. And this is, I mean, honestly, it might sound like the game is over, but it's certainly, I mean, at this point, yeah, it's kind of getting to that point. But it was actually, when he had the 2v1 on Setra, had the RNG been in his favor and they had made all their attacks through Setra's melee defense, there was certainly a chance that he could have came back, because Tomb Scorpions aren't going to be super good against dragons. So the Spellsinger is coming back here. There could potentially be an Earthblood right here to kind of top these guys off. And it looks like the Nehekar Horsemen are getting shaken but not stirred. And the Setra, the Imperishable, has 4,262 HP, which is certainly nothing to scoff at, but that's going to be game. Yeah, the Tomb King's blob just was too much. So, with that, Chief is going to be moving on to the Grand Finals. What a series between him and Loopy. I mean, Loopy played a great job despite his Vanguard not paying off. He almost got back in that game with very methodical breath attacks. So let's hear a big round of applause for Loopy. He played a great game. Well played to you, man. And on that note, Chief is going to be advancing to the finals. The champion of Clan BBB has proved that Setra is indeed imperishable. Beautiful stuff. So let's go ahead and update the scoreboard here. Chief is going to be taking the series 2-0. Say good game to the players. GG, guys. And so let's say Chief host finals lobby. All right, we're going to tell Chief to host the finals lobby. And we're going to be jumping over to the next game. So let's go ahead and get our boy Palpatine back. Palpatine, where are you at? There you go. And let's take a look at the brackets. The brackets are going to have Chief moving on to the finals to face the winner of Rigson and Zero. All right. Please clap. Yeah, the please clap thing from, I think it was like Jeb Bush. That was so funny. Hold on. All right. Yeah, it was a well-played game by both players. They were very evenly matched, those two. I agree, yeah. Wild Riders are actually really good in that matchup, for sure. All right, so let's go ahead and head back to the battle here and update these scorecards, just so you guys can know who's playing here. It's going to be Rigson, and it looks like he's going to be playing Vampire Coast, and he's going to be facing off against Zero. And Zero is going to be doing the Lizardmen. A very classic matchup. It used to be very hard for Lizardmen, but I think it's quite a bit better now after the changes. It's pretty even, I would say. And great. Start when ready, boys. Let's do it. So we're going to be on River Amixon, which is a map with a fair amount of line of sight. Rigson, of course, Vampire Coast. Zero is going to be playing Lizardmen, and he pops his army at the last second to make sure nobody can see it. Granted, I got you covered, man. I got your screen blocker. I believe Rigson is from Australia. I'm not sure where Zero's from, but I believe Rigson is indeed from Australia. So we're going to see if he can bring it home for the country there. Zardar says his money's on Zero. We will see. It's going to be a good matchup. Loopy, you played super good, man. Those were great games. Those were really good games. So well played, man. We'll certainly have you back next season. The Vanguard was a bold strategy for sure. It almost worked, but with the way his army was built, it was a little bit tough. You played super well, man. And I look forward to having you in my future tournaments. All right, Rigson and Zero here. This is going to be good. I'm excited for this one. The Vampire Coast, Rixen is quite good at greenskins and Vampire Coast. Those are the factions he really likes, and I haven't seen Zero play in quite some time, so I don't really have too much intel on him. But anyways, let's take a look at the army of the Vampire Coast first. Up in the skies, a couple Fellbats, or just one Fellbat, just to kind of chase skinks and be annoying, or chase Pterodon Riders. I like that. That's a good choice. Now, Rixen is going to be going with the traditional gun line, so he's got deckhand mobs, the black spot. Secondary line's going to be polearms and just standard chaff. He does also have one group of depth guard, which I like mixing in one or two groups. Very, very good against Saurus. Good against everything except Temple Guard, so that's a good choice. He's got some halberds. He does also have the Hard Knock Life here in the back, so he's going to be having some heavy firepower. Double cannons, Hard Knock Life, 4 handgunners. He's just going to be going balls deep in the firepower. So it's really going to be, can Rixen defend his back line, keep that firepower going, and stop the onslaught of the old ones, or children of the old ones, I should say. Zero is German, huh? Cool. Zero is a low-key beast. Oh man, it seems like there's a lot of Zero fans in chat today. Well, we'll see if he can do you proud here. So for the front line of Zero, he's got Skink Cohorts, pretty good against Vampire Coast. Honestly, they can fight deckhand mobs pretty efficiently, or they can go around the flanks. Typically, you see Cohorts out on the flanks, and they just push around and harass and use their speed, and then use Saurus in the front line. But again, we'll see how he plays it. He does also have Saurus Warriors with shields, and it looks like it's going to be a Skink Priest with Heaven, so he does have the Curse of the Midnight Wind. Oh, Big Daddy Saurus Old Blood, that's a bit of a bold pick here. He's a big target. So with the gunfire, I mean, it's really going to depend on his micro. Granted, on this map, he has some pretty good terrain to hide in, so it's not going to be terrible for him. But yeah, the Saurus Old Blood, if it's able to get on Noctilus, is going to be really, really strong, but he is going to be susceptible to gunfire. So the one thing that's really good about Zero's army to protect the Carnosaur here is that his army is very wide, so he's going to be able to swarm the guns pretty efficiently. He also has red-crusted skinks in the secondary line with the cohort of Sotek, so these guys give you AP in the front line against depth guard and any sort of crab play. It's pretty good. He does also have a Salamander hunting pack, so he's going to be going for those big Vampire Coast targets, and these guys are so damn good against Vampire Coast. Good against crabs, good against hulks, good against, all that big stuff. And Vampire Coast has a ton of big monsters, that some of which actually are flammable, so having those guys are going to be pretty good here. Yeah, great little army here. Great little army, and the Vampire Coast, so that gun line's going to be pretty good, and he's got ample defenses. As far as depth guard, he does have 2 groups, so I feel like he's going to be able to hold his back line. The big thing is, like, can he protect Noctilus from the onslaught? And I mean, how quickly is he going to be able to burn through the front line? Is it going to be quick enough to mitigate the effectiveness of this gunfire? We'll find out in the next episode. So yeah, I think we're good. We're good to go. There's some space back here to deploy, of course. And the battle is indeed going to be underway. Can the Vampire Coast pull this one out? Oh man, that comment made me laugh. The one from the fake ninja hunt. You're more than welcome to play if you'd like to. All right, battle's underway. Cannons are going to be switching about face. He does see where the Lizardman army is going to be coming from, but this is actually quite good for the dinos because they have this shroud if they want to, and honestly, they could take a bit of a wide route and just come through here, and then there's going to be barely any distance. They can literally keep most of their army in cover for a majority of this battle, so that's going to be nice, and you can see with that, Rixen is going to be switching his formation here and just going to be getting ready to get some of those sweet cannon shots downtown, and looks like there's some questions out. Good luck, have fun. Players just being good sports. And the cannon fire should be coming in here in just a moment, I would imagine. Noctilus is going to be coming forward with his peg leg and putting that pressure on. And using Noctilus as like a forward sweeper like this is generally quite good because he can run, he could shoot. If he gets caught, he can pop summons. And I don't think there's any super mobile units aside from the Salamanders. This is actually pretty good for the Sallies. I mean, they could push forward and pressure Noctilus, but if they do that, they're going to be taking tons of cannonballs to the face. So it's a little bit of a tough situation. I think for the Dinos, the best thing they can do is simply just advance and get there as quick as possible at this point. So, yeah, there's a lot of open field for sure, but at least it's not like a pure open field map. There is some terrain to work with. So a lot of this army, like the high value targets, like the Saurus Old Blood and the Salamanders, are going to have plenty of cover to work with, which is going to be good. So Noctilus certainly isn't as popular as it used to be. I mean, this used to be kind of the main thing, is seeing Noctilus on his peg leg monster here, just getting in there, shooting, dropping summons everywhere to slow down the enemy army while they're being shot with cannons. But of course, summons aren't as good as they used to be. So Noctilus is certainly a lot weaker. He's been nerfed countless times, but he's still a very competitive lord by all means. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, it's cool to see him. We haven't seen him in quite some time. I think that in this matchup, you can get away with a couple different options. Aranus Assault Spite's actually pretty good here. Not as good as Noctilus or Luther, and Luther's really good here. He's actually just a terror. He can snipe the caster, he can duel the enemy lords, he is very, very good. So Noctilus is going to be turning his peg leg about, and he's going to be shooting downtown at the cohort of Sotek. He's able to get some value, but this is good for the Lizardmen, because all the cannons are just shooting into skinks and like chaff units. Like none of the high value targets are in range or are visible right now. So all the Salamander hunting packs plus the Carnosaurs are hiding in the forest while the main army advances and reforms itself. So a very, very good situation so far for the dinos. I mean, it's still damage they're taking, but you can see here Noctilus is actually using a lot of his ammo. So he's going to be using ammo against like chaff units and the skinks, which, yeah, can't complain about. So we are in the second match of the day. The first match has concluded, and if anybody wants to watch, I believe you can simply go back in the stream and do that. Noctilus, in the meantime, still shooting with his peg leg. He's going to be bracing for that shot right here. And you can see there is going to be a Feral Manticore summon coming in. Now, remember, the Manticore is a summoned unit, so it is going to be disappearing here. And it looks like he might just be using it to chase off Noctilus, which isn't bad. It's going to minimize some of the firepower, and Captain Pegleg is going to be running back. Now, it's probably not worth using any firepower to shoot the Manticore because it's already, like, basically 1/4 of the way dead. So it's not going to be able to do too much value. I might have waited on the Manticore summon just to get a little bit closer to have it attack, like, Depth Guard or something like that, or go after the cannons in the back, but at the very least, it is going to, chase Noctilus and maybe do some HP damage. We'll find out. So the Skink cohorts are going to be getting around the back, and it looks like, yeah, there's ample room to kind of get around the back of the army. So there is a rule about camping the white line, but if there's like this much room, like you're pretty much in good shape here. Up in the skies, you can see that the Manticore is going to be swooping down and attacking the Hard Knock Life. It's actually shaken, and it gets some okay contact. Manticores don't have the best AP, and Noctilus still does have some armor there. So here comes the, yeah, we're going to see if the Lizard Trinkets will be acquired by the Vampire Coast. Granted, it's not Luther Harkin, so it's not going to be quite as good. And the powder is going to be coming in, shooting down the Feral Manticore, but, I mean, who cares? It's a summon unit. That's what it's for. It's going to be disappearing in like 15 seconds anyways. Now, the Saurus are going to be pounding this front line very aggressively. I mean, the Depth Guard probably are going to need to sweep in pretty quick because the Zombie Pirate Deckhand mobs are going to go down fast. And a very, very conservative play here from Zero. He's keeping a lot of his army in reserve here, just waiting for the cannons and other troops to get engaged, which is good. Waiting for the Saurus and company to actually start fighting before you come out is going to kind of mean like you're going to get to that backline that much quicker. Now, Skinks are coming around the back. Depth Guard are a really good backline defense unit. So these Skinks are actually going to be attacking the Deckhand mobs. The cohorts are going to be dropping some javelins on the Depth Guard, I'm sure. And here comes the frontline fighting. So Saurus are going to be engaging. Zombos are not going to be having a good time here versus just meaty dinosaur people. And yeah, they're going to be jumping in. So we can see the front line of the Vampire Coast is holding okay. There's going to be a Wraithstorm going down right there, and the Salamander hunting packs are now going to be surging forth. And he does actually have a Beastcaster plus a Heavens Caster. So he does have Wind Blast. Curse of the Midnight Wind is going to make these guys very squishy. Granted, a Wind Blast might be more effective at kind of buttering that position out. And the Salamanders are just going to be shooting into the Depth Guard, which is a good choice. You don't want to give them any opportunity to fight. You just want to try and blast them. Now, the Salamanders might be better suited to actually shooting at some of these targets over here, like going after the guns who are lightly armored because they don't have the best AP, actually. So some of the Red Crested Skinks are able to get into the back line, and this is actually really good here for Zero. He's able to get the cohort of Sotek back here, and they're unbreakable. So that's just going to be a sticky, annoying unit in your back line, which is actually going to put up an okay fight against Depth Guard. So it looks like there's going to be a summon going down. Oh man, this is looking pretty rough for Rigson. The Skinks are just getting in everywhere. And they're just going to be taking out the guns, taking out the cannons. The frontline fight is pretty solid. The Feral Carnosaur is actually in okay shape. He's taking some gunfire, but the guns in the back line are going to be shut down rather quickly. And he's just going to be tail whipping these guys. And yeah, now it's time for the Wrath of the Old Ones. The cannons are going to be shooting at the Salamander hunting packs. Depth Guard here are actually going down from the pressure from the Carnosaur. And the back line is looking like a little bit of a mess. There's actually Skinks who went all the way around. Oh no, and they're going to be getting into the cannon here. So the dinos are able to compromise the backline pretty aggressively, and the Deckhand mobs are going to be surging back there, but Zero is doing such a good job getting all of these troops back here, and these Skinks, yeah, they have shields as well, so the gunfire isn't going to be too bad against them. They're probably honestly going to be able to shut that cannon down, and there are just Skinks everywhere, just little lizard people just shanking all these zombies. The carronade's going down, the other carronade is not going to be firing, the guns are shooting inefficiently back at Skinks. This gun is pretty much offline as well, and the Feral Carnosaur is going to be coming for that peg leg right now. Also, you can see that, oh man, a lot of firepower coming in from the Salamander hunting packs shooting at Count Noctilus. So there's not really much going well for the Vampire Coast right now. The entire front line will lose their fight. The back line is just absolute anarchy right now. And Count Noctilus on his peg leg is being hunted by a superior predator for sure. The Feral Carnosaur is going to be going. It looks like a fireworks show, but this T-Rex is going to be giving Noctilus the business. He can drop some summons here, which is going to be nice, but Noctilus is going to be going down in a matter of seconds to this Saurus Old Blood, and down goes Count Noctilus. So the gun line is going to get some decent firepower, here on the Saurus Old Blood, but I just don't think there's any chance because this front line, that's going to unleash a horde of angry Saurus into the back line, which the only thing that can really deal with the Saurus are going to be the Depth Guard, and he only has one group back here, which isn't going to be enough. And now the Saurus Old Blood is on top of the guns, and with that, Rigson knows he's lost, and he will indeed concede that game. So the Lizardmen are going to be taking game one there, and I would suspect that Rigson is probably going to be jumping over to his greenskins. He is a masterful greenskin player, so we're going to be seeing what he does there. And Zero is going to be taking game one here in this best of three. Palpatine is back. Let's do it to it. Well played. And Rigson says GG, well played, nicely done. Zero says GG, good sports all around. That's what I like to see. Awesome stuff. Yeah, those dinosaurs got in there pretty good. That was a ferocious one. Yeah, those lizards were quite angry. So the next map, I think they already know it. Used to people bringing cold ones and dinos for me to shoot. Nice switch up, he says. Yeah, it was a good switch up for sure. It was a great army. Well, Aerocrastic, what he did with the salamanders is he actually like kept them in the trees until the Saurus were very like engaged, and he had pretty good target saturation. Like his skink flank pressure was insane. Like he had skinks everywhere. It's like you look there, there's a skink. You look in the bushes, there's a skink. Like they were coming all over the place. So Zero's going to be playing the Warriors of Chaos for his next game, and let's see what Rigson is going to be playing. So he is doing Chaos, and we're waiting for his ban, so he can ban one race. Now, I mean, he can ban based on what his opponent's good at, but he's going to be going for the safe ban, which is the Vampire Coast. And I bet you Rigson is going to be picking greenskins now. I mean, he always plays greenskins. I'd be really surprised if he didn't. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, the shields are really good. Going super wide is very strong. I mean, to beat a Lizardman build like that, you could bring some guns, but bringing like Depth Guard and Prometheans and things like that, and also some Scurvy Dogs to attack the Salamanders would have been pretty good. It's very doable. Yes. And it's going to be Dark Elves from Rigson. Okay. Cool. It would be Tiamat 64. I agree, man. Yeah, Tiamat 64, you've been a sponsor for a long time, man. Just want to thank you. Because I can see you have Wurzog as your avatar, which means you've been a sponsor for, I believe, 5 months at least. So yeah, thank you so much, man. We got Heavy Metal Chaos against Dark Elves. It's a pretty fun matchup, to say the least. And the players are going to be picking their armies. Start when ready. And I'm going to go get some water real quick because I'm running out. Aerocrastic, yes, he's a good man. If you guys haven't seen it, he has a YouTube channel. He does some great breakdowns, also streams major tournaments. We'll try and drop a link. Yeah, at some point. Aerocrastic, feel free to drop a link to your channel if you could. He's a really good player, and also he's the champion of the Everchosen. He was able to beat Talaxlan Soothsayer in the finals of one of the Everchosen, which was a pretty incredible series. Probably one of the best of all time in the Everchosen. I think Chaos has it's a fun matchup. I always thought Dark Elves versus Chaos was a relatively even matchup, maybe slightly favoring Dark Elves, but not by much. I thought it was pretty negligible, to be honest, but yeah, we'll see. I'm going to get some water. I'll be back, my friends. Oh. Milk was a bad choice. It's so damn hot. Ah, yes. Good, Anakin, good. So, Nathrati says, while the Dark Elf is favored, Zero mains Chaos and should have solid answers. Well, we'll find out, guys. So, let's go ahead and get rid of Palpatine. Thank you again for your cackling service, as always. And it's time. Yeah, I've watched Invicta's videos in the past, and I've also met him in person. Invicta is a really, really nice person. A great guy. I believe he also lives in California. So, I haven't watched him in too long, but yeah, I've watched a couple. So, for the forces of Rigson, at the front line, he's going to be going with Blackheart Corsairs with handbows. Now, that seems like an interesting pick against Chaos. They're not going to be good against any Chaos infantry. They do have some counter-skirmishing potential against Marauder Horsemen, however, because they have 70 range against the 90 of Horsemen. So they can get a couple decent volleys off. And I feel like Chariots are going to run them over. So it seems like a very strange pick here from Rigson. But again, maybe there's something about them I don't really understand in terms of utility in this matchup. But yeah, we'll see how the Blackheart Corsairs do. He does also have Malekith up in the skies. Malekith's always pretty good. Soul Stealer's a good ability. Heavy AP. He can go fisticuffs. He can certainly feast on the Warp Chicken. Now for the main line, he's going pretty elite. He does have 2 groups of Harganeth Executioners, the Black Guard of Nagarond, and in the back he's got Dread Spears and a Reaper Bolt Thrower. So a super strange, unorthodox army. Typically Dark Elf armies are like very wide, with repeater crossbows and chaff infantry and chariots to kind of win the battles, but in this case it looks like he's going to be going super elite, which might be able to catch Zero off guard. So he does have Harganeth Executioners, Black Guard, a Reaper Bolt Thrower, and a bunch of Corsairs, which I'm very eager to see how those guys do. Now, for the forces of Zero, he has Marauder Horse Masters on the flank, Horsemen and Horse Masters mixed in. So pretty good skirmishing core. Going to be able to, put some pressure on the back line for sure. And also even throwing at like Black Guard isn't a bad idea because, again, they don't have shields. So for the main line, it's going to be Chosen. Oh, badass. So he's got Chosen and Chaos Warriors, which are actually going to be in a rough situation against Blades of the Blood Queen and stuff. But, oh man, it's cool to see them in action. He does also have some Chaos Chariots. So one on the far side, one right here. Warp Chicken going to be coming in with that sweet final transmutation. And he also has some Chaos Warhounds. Man, pretty cool army here by both players. We'll see how it goes. Oh, I actually ended up getting some orange juice. That is really, really good. God, orange juice is so damn good. It's just too bad it's so much sugar. Yeah, who gives a shit? You know, life is short. Why not treat yourself is kind of my philosophy. I mean, to an extent, of course. So right here, you can see the Voltor is going to be shooting in, but Zero with the jukes. He's got the moves like Jagger. Look at this guy. He's just like juking back and forth. Some masterful play right there. In the meantime, the other ones are going to be going up around that flank. And the Corsairs are going to be used for counter skirmishing, which I guess maybe they're not going to be bad. They are heavily armored and, can shoot back here. So the Corsairs are going to be unleashing a volley, perhaps. Are they in range? We'll find out. It looks like they might be kept out of range, but the Horse Masters, oh, volley goes off. Is it going to make contact? It does get some okay damage, nothing to write home about. And in the meantime, you can see that Zero is just going to be kind of positioning, moving forward his main army, and in the back he does have Hounds and Chariots. So Chaos Chariots are really good in this matchup. They're going to be really tough to deal with because there's not a lot of high mass here for Rigson. He doesn't have anything that can stop Chariots really, aside from Malekith. So I'm a little bit concerned for him. Granted, the skirmishing in the initial engagement is going pretty well with the Blackheart Corsairs. They're actually doing some okay work against the Horsemen, so making me eat my words here. Yeah. Life is short, diabetes. Diabetes. Oh my god, you guys remember Wilford Brimley? The diabetes guy? Diabetes. That was always so funny. Anyways, the Dark Elves do have their front line here. Blades of the Blood Queen, Harganeth Executioners. On the flanks, we have the Black Guard, who are going to be waiting. But yeah, I'm really concerned about those Chariots. I feel like those guys are going to be a huge pain in the ass. Final Transmutation, probably going to get pops on Malekith. Really good play here from Rigson, though. With his unorthodox build, he's doing a good job. He's picking off Chariots already. He's counter-skirmishing efficiently, so the Horsemen are actually taking some damage from the Corsairs. And is he going to be charging in there? Is he going to do it? That would be a pretty ballsy charge. But the Horse Masters, they're thinking about it. But they're going to be, throwing at the Dread Spears in the back, which isn't a bad idea. And some of the Black Guard are actually detaching from the front line. Malekith needs to pull back, though. He could get caught up by these Warhounds, but they're not the Poison Warhounds, so it's not going to be super devastating. And the one issue with the Chaos Army is there's not really any anti-large threats aside from the Horsemen. So the Horsemen are really going to have their work out, for them taking out Malekith. So the Chariots in the meantime looking for an opportunity, going to be getting shot by the Corsairs with handbows. The Dogs are also looking for an opportunity, but these Corsairs here are going to be getting attacked pretty heavily by the Hounds, I would imagine, and the Chariots, but it looks like they're going to be pulling back. So Rigson with a very good defensive hold so far. So these two groups of handbows are going to be shooting into the Horse Masters, and he's making me eat my words with these Corsairs. I wasn't really sure about their application. I thought their range would be too short here, but again, he's making pretty good use of them as like a sweeper unit and a defensive unit. So over here, the Black Guard are going to be falling back. Chariots are being very, very conservative here. Malekith is actually jumping in and getting surrounded, but this is actually, believe it or not, a good thing for Malekith, because what can these Horse Masters do to Malekith? He's going to drop a Soul Stealer. He's going to kill pretty much all those guys, and it's going to be devastating. So suddenly, I think here, you can see Zero realizes the error of that engagement right there, and is going to be pulling back. That Soul Stealer is going to be really, really good and tasty. Now, the Chariots are going to be drawing their first blood here against the Blackheart Corsairs, and you can see how quickly they do actually kill the Corsairs, which is quite good. And the Chaos Infantry are going to be engaging against the Black Guard, and I wonder how Shielded Chosen will do versus Black Guard. I mean, their stats are a lot better, so I feel like Chosen might still even win that, despite the AP difference. However, in the front line, the Blades of the Blood Queen and the Harganeth Executioners are going to do a very good job against Chosen. Blades of the Blood Queen are one of the most powerful great open units in the entire game. In the meantime, Chariots in the back are doing a decent job getting amongst the Corsairs. Malekith is up in the skies. He's quite happy, which is a little bit stressful here for Zero. And it looks like he's going to be dropping a fat breath attack. Oh, it's coming down the pipe on those Chaos Warriors. And that is going to mulch those guys very, very quickly. And it looks like Rigson is in okay shape. In the back, though, the Blackheart Corsairs are being, harassed heavily by the Chariots and the Marauder Horsemen. And the Warp Chicken's going to be Slam Jam, KFC Drumstick, and these guys over here. And it looks like he's doing his thing. And it looks like there's going to be a final transmutation as well coming down in the center pocket, which is going to be hitting the Blades of the Blood Queen. It's not going to be contacting Malekith, but nonetheless, it does hit the Blades of the Blood Queen, which is a very, very good catch there. Certainly an important unit to take out. Up on the high ground, Malekith does get hit with the Scroll of Leeching, so his Winds of Magic is going to be reduced a little bit, but nonetheless, he is able to fend off the Chariots, and the Corsairs are doing a good job. The Harganeth Executioners are actually losing that battle in sustained combat versus the Chosen. Chosen just have much better combat stats, but even still, it's not going to be a terrible trade, and they are kind of buttering them up, and I mean, the Chosen are also getting shot, and those guys are still just holding firm. One Chaos Chariot is going to be running into the back here, and it looks like it is going to get a nice little charge there. It's certainly going to help the Chosen win that fight that much quicker. And here in the front, you can see there's Dark Elf Infantry. So Rigson does have the Blades of the Blood Queen here. Warp Chicken might be able to take care of them, though. I mean, he does have that fat drumstick, and of course they only have like 1,000 HP, so potentially could shut those guys down. But the Corsair Handbow is doing a really good job, actually, just kind of shooting, and even if you do attack them with like the mobile units of Chaos, like these Marauder Horsemen, they actually are pretty good melee combat. They have 80 armor plus 40, 24, 28 for their respective combat stats, and they only have 40 melee attack right now because of Murderous Prowess. So that's the reason why that's so juicy. So Malekith up in the sky is going to be looking for an engagement opportunity. He could start, you know, cooking some KFC, deep frying this chicken. I'm not sure if he's going to do that. I feel like he's going to leave the chicken for last. Just killing the Chosen and the elite troops, I think, is going to be the right choice here. So very nice breath attack coming down from Rigson. He's able to just blow a load all over those guys right there, and that's probably going to allow these Blackguard to come back and win this fight here. Corsairs are in pretty good shape, going to be getting rode down by the chariots once again, but if they focus fire these two chariots down, they should be in okay shape. And yeah, look at that. Pretty good damage there. It does like 300 damage, and the chariots are shaken, not stirred, and we're going to see if those guys do break off. In the meantime, Malekith up in the sky in pretty good shape, and it looks like the forces of Zero are actually like crumbling across the board. The Dark Elves still have a Reaper Bolt Thrower. They still have some Dread Spears. Malekith is in impeccable shape. He's in very, very good shape here. So he's going to be able to pretty much do whatever he wants. And the Dark Elves still have some okay infantry. They have Blackguard here. Blades of the Blood Queen are still somewhat operational with 10 models. Not really significant, but Malekith's going to be going in, attacking the Chosen here, which isn't a bad idea. Also dropping a Soul Stealer on these guys, which is going to be good. It'll pretty much mitigate any of the damage he is taking from these spears. And it does tap the Warp Chicken as well. So Warp Chicken is going to be taking a little bit of magic damage there. It's not going to be devastating, but yeah, it's still like 300-400 damage. Can't complain. So the Dark Elves are going to be forming a Helm's Deep up in the high ground here. The Chosen are going to be surging back in. Marauder Horsemen are throwing into their backs. Two Corsairs here, though, are in really, really good shape here. Man, really cool stuff. I've learned something new. I'm not a very good Dark Elf player myself, so seeing these strategies with the Corsair Handbows, like, you wouldn't think they'd be good against Chaos, but yeah, I guess pretty good against, like, the Skirmisher play. So the Harganeth Executioners and the Blackguard are going to be holding the backline. The Chosen are going to be running, and Malekith flies overhead on this Black Dragon, and he's going to be terror-routing some of these guys for sure. Chaos Warriors and Chosen are not immune to psychology, so they certainly can run, and I guess that Chosen, I think, they're still like mortals who have like selfish ambitions. They're not like just mindless beasts, so I kind of understand it. Yeah, interesting. So Malekith here going to be attacking the chariots in the back, going to be cleaning those guys up. And with this, you can see Rigson is going to be pulling ahead in the bounce of power. The Corsair Handbows are going to be kiting pretty efficiently. Big Daddy Malekith has just been a terror this game. Rigson has had some beautiful breath attacks. He was able to just methodically go down the ranks, roast a lot of the Chosen and the Chaos Warriors, and Malekith was able to deal with the chariots. The Reaper Bolt Thrower over the course of the long game gave him some very, very good firepower against those guys, and this has just been an outstanding game. Very cool stuff. So Malekith is easily going to be able to feast on the Warp Chicken. I think it's going to be army losses relatively soon. Chaos doesn't have too much left. Let's see. I mean, they have some horsemen over here, which are throwing in against Malekith, but they're going to run out of ammo before they can do anything significant. They're still spears. They're still Corsairs, and the Corsairs are not slouches in melee combat. So they're going to be able to defeat these very tattered Chaos infantry. It's mainly just dealing with the Warp Chicken, who, of course, is going to be drumsticking all day. But so some of the horsemen thinking about engaging here. We'll find out. Yeah, this has been a good battle. Been a very good battle, but the horsemen, I mean, could charge in, but that's what's cool about Corsairs, like I said, and I've repeated 100 times in these battles, that they are durable in melee. Warp Chicken's going to be fighting, but he is fighting Corsairs, so he is going to be getting prison shanked by some of these little sticks here. Not a good time for him. As far as his HP, 3,652. Not taking too many attacks, though. His HP isn't really changing much, but Malekith is going to be going over here, can easily just chase these guys off. Corsairs doing that. There are some Chosen coming back in as well, but I have a feeling Malekith is simply going to jump down there and attack those guys. And you can see here, these Horse Masters are out of ammo. These ones have 4 volleys left, 2 volleys on these guys. And the Chosen are going to be getting attacked by Malekith's Big Black Dragon here. So the Big Black Dragon going to be jumping in. Those Chosen are going to get mulched. And it looks like there's going to be, epic wizard duel. There's going to be a final transmutation coming in. So this is pretty much the last stand here of Zero. I mean, that's a really good play. Oh, man. Oh, no way. If Zero comes back from this, that is going to be lunacy. That would be lunacy. Oh, he was saving it. The overcasted final transmutation in the 4th quarter. And Malekith gets pounded out. Oh, my God. What a comeback! That Alpha Strike. I mean, it looked 100% over. Oh my God, that was insanity. That overcasted final transmutation. He lulled him into a false sense of comfort, baited him in, and then got a fat overcasted final transmutation and hit Malekith plus like half the Dark Elf army. Oh my God, that was insane. So Malekith is back now. The battle is stable. Bounce power is even again. Now, Chaos doesn't really have much left, and Malekith is probably still going to be able to win this, or maybe, I don't know, that's so crazy. If Warp Chicken can actually win this duel against Malekith, that could actually get him in the game here. That could get him back. Man, that was nuts. That was nuts. Oh my God, he almost got him there. Ludicrous. So Sartorial's going to be doing Malekith, but Malekith is stable now. He has a lot of infantry support, and it looks like Rigson is going to be winning this game, but that would have been one of the most legendary comebacks we've had in quite some time. But the Warp Chicken, a true hero of Sartorial, or of Tzeentch, I should say. Not Sartorial, of Tzeentch, is going to be going down to the might of the big black dragon in just a moment. He was, man, that was crazy. Yeah, that was really nuts. That was nuts. And Malekith is a much better duelist than the Greater Chicken here. And that's going to be army losses and death and decay for Chaos. Man, so Rigson normalizes the series. It's 1-1. And he was going against one of Zero's best factions as well. So, man, that final transmutation was insanely awesome. That almost got him back in the game. And I'm really surprised that the game went as it did. I actually thought that the Chariots would be able to really just disrupt that backline play. Because, like, what could Chaos have against, or the, I mean, he had Malekith, but I don't know. I guess it's only 2 Chariots, so it's not like a lot. But even still, man, Rigson played really well that game. He was able to really claw that one out with a very unorthodox build for sure. And Zero played, they both played super well. That was a crazy game. That was indeed truly epic. So on that note, let us go ahead to game 3 between these 2 very evenly matched players here. This has been a very, very good Eternal Challenger League here. I feel bad for anyone who's joining late. With 11 secret herbs and spices, never count out the evil KFC Lord, says Tiamat64. That's pretty great, man. Oh my god, what a match. Yeah, I don't think he would have gotten Malekith. Man, that was like, had Malekith been a little bit more beat up though, that would have killed him, and I think Chaos might have won that game. Hey Clockbasher, you're welcome, man. I got you covered. I got you covered. Gorby's Chariots are good. They're pretty expensive. I tend to prefer Chaos Chariots, because again, Dark Elves typically bring light armor. Bleak Swords, Dread Spears, Corsairs can get run over pretty efficiently. But yeah, they will struggle against like super heavy armor, but I still think the Gorby's Chariots aren't worth it in that matchup. Perhaps some people have different opinions. Zero saying you screwed up at the last second. Man, that final chance, I thought you had me, Rigson was saying. I pick, so Rigson is going to be going to his main faction. He's going to be picking the Greenskins and banning Vampire Coast. And we're going to see what Zero picks in this last game, which is going to be on the Sword of Torvald. Yeah, that was... Aspiring Champions aren't that great, unfortunately, yeah. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying the stream, drop a like. It does help me out. Appreciate it, as always, my friends. Oh, man. Gotta roll the shoulders. Milk was a bad choice. Oh, it's going to be Dawi versus Greenskins. That is a hard matchup for the Dwarves. Zero picking Dwarves into Greenskins. He's trying to win your hearts, it would seem, guys. It's going to be the Greenskins versus the Dwarves in the classic grudge match. Zero, a man after my heart, playing the Dwarves into an already difficult matchup. This is going to be interesting. Christian, as far as advice for newer players who are into the RTS genre, specifically Total War, there's a lot of good channels to watch. I mean, obviously I could plug my own channel, but I mean, yeah, just watching battles is very helpful in, seeing what works, what doesn't, what units are good, which units aren't very good. There are guides. I just put up a beginner's guide recently about movement and tactics and explained why moving a certain way and grouping your things a certain way. So things like that are helpful, but there's a lot of channels. Party Elite has some really good beginner's guides. He has like a very thorough amount of them, whereas I have a couple, and I usually generally teach people through battles, whereas he had a lot of guides earlier on. So, but yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of good stuff. Yeah. Grudges will be settled. Oh god, we have the bots. The bots have returned. Oh no. I thought we had escaped them, but no. Thank you, Misha. Man, Misha's so quick on the draw with those swats. It's perfect. Because Misha, you have a picture of a cat. Like cats are just like so quick to like swat prey. So it's just like metaphorically, it's so perfect. I have the screen blocker up, right? Yes, I do. Okay. Man, dwarves into greenskins. That is a bold strategy, Cotton. Yeah. The Slanesh bot is back. I know. Well, so YouTube doesn't have a lot of big streams. If you go to YouTube Gaming, like when I had the Eternal Challenger League Season 1 finals, I was like number 8 on all of YouTube Gaming as far as streams go. I was like in the top 10. And that was only like maybe with 1,400 people, give or take, we had for that. So for this, like we're still like in the top like probably 20 or 30 for streams right now on YouTube. So like the bots just look at the top brackets of YouTube and just like go and like click on them and just spam basically. Yeah, 20 stack for High Elves can be good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, going wide with High Elves can be very efficient. They have some very good isolation lords like Teclis. You can go with a mass archer line, net things down, shoot them. Yeah, it's very viable. I don't know. Italian and I will do a head-to-head again someday. Not sure when. He's been busy. He was out of town and stuff, so yeah. Pipes must be in heaven because of the epic Dawi versus Greenskin fight. Yes. Yeah, Loopy's player was very cool with the Mass Vanguard. Yeah, Felcon has a great point. The male Glade Lord is going to be better with builds like that because Preyavanath Rema isn't going to be as efficient unless you're going with a missile build. I think it's still good though because you can still snare someone and catch them. So there's an argument to be made for it. But who would you say is the most Chad of the legendary lords? Kolek. Yeah, Kolek's a Chad because he's like dumb and brutish. You know, like he's not like super like intelligent, and so he's kind of has the Chad characteristic. He's like overly big and like just. I think Kolek's like the ultimate Chad. Yeah. Tyrion is kind of Chad. I mean, I guess like it's hard to call Kolek like a true Chad because he doesn't like have like care about like women or like the other sex. I don't know if Dragonogers have that. So like that kind of is a factor as well. I don't know. It's really tough. Thank you, William H. McCoy. Belagar is really cool. I actually had a good game versus Belagar the other night. I hope it's Gromby. Gromby would be sweet. Papa Grom is really cool. Magic D. Thank you so much for the 20, man. So Magic D coming in. He says, axes out, lads. It seems like there's quite a few. Karl Franz is too intelligent. He's too much of a statesman, like too cunning and intelligent to be a Chad. He can't be. Sigvald kind of could be, actually. He's like, yeah. Sigvald kind of is. But like you can't be smart and also be a Chad, I don't think. Yeah. I mean, I guess you can. I don't know. No, not really. Not really. All right, so let me go ahead and make sure the screen blocker is gone. Thank you, mods, for dealing with the Slanesh bots as always. God damn, it's so obnoxious. All right, so for the forces of the Greenskins, who are going to be led by Rigson. Now, he is a Greenskin main, so he probably has some foul concoctions. Oh, but he's not going to be going with a... Now, typically, I think the best way to play Greenskins against Dwarves is Black Orcs, Skulkers, Squig Rush, just blitz in there and just overwhelm them. However, he's going to be playing a very different style of play. He's got Goblin Rock Lobbers. He has 2 Doomdiver Catapults. What world, what planet are we on? He does also have 3 Black Orcs, Skulkers, pretty standard stuff. Orc Boys, who do have better AP, and also Goblin Wolfrider Archers and Azag up in the skies with Spirit Leech, who's going to be good. Spirit Leech is quite good against the Dwarves. Now, for the forces of Zero, let's take a look, my friends. I know a lot of Dwarf fans in here. He's got Rangers, he's got Ulthar's Raiders, he's got Thunders, double Runesmith, and it looks like for the Lord, he's going to be going with Belagar Ironhammer. Oh my god, a man after our hearts. Belagar Ironhammer is quite a tank. He's going to be tough to kill. Man, that is so gangster. He does also have the Norgelming's Ironbreakers, Dwarf Warriors across the front line, so he's going to have to get a lot of value out of the AP on these Thunders and the Runes of Wrath and Ruin, but if the Thunders sit on the Black Orcs with Rune Magic pounding them, it can kill them rather quickly. He does also have a cannon here in the corner, and Dwarf Warriors. No Slayers, interestingly enough. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And he does also have 2 Gyro... Oh my god, a Gyro Bomber! A Gyro Bomber! Oh god! Chat's going to blow up. So we got a Gyro Bomber plus a Gyrocopter, so there's going to be some heavy bombs now. Man, this is going to be interesting. It's very much, it feels like a meme build in some respects, but it also has the components of a good build. I don't know, man. I don't know. We have Belagar and a Gyro Bomber in a game. With everything on the line here, Zero is bringing out the memes. Man, this is awesome. I need that Greenskin Jank to win. Do we have like gambling rings here? This is going to be a cool dwarf army. Oh man, I hope they can just survive the onslaught. But the thing is the dwarf army is going to have to move because double Doomdiver, double Rocklobber. Like the dwarves cannot sit here. They have 1 cannon, so the Greenskins will outtrade them in terms of artillery. So, oh my god, this is going to be nuts. This is nuts. Everyone is just chat's going wild. Belagar Ironhammer. The true lord of Carrick 8 Peaks, coming in with his, he doesn't have the Clan Angren weapon. Belagar does have charge defense against all, so he braces for Azag's charges. He's going to be, pretty meaty there. It's go time. So the Dwarves, let's see what they do. I think they're going to have to advance, though. The Greenskins do have the artillery advantage. So, I don't know. This is just wild. This is just wild. Both of these armies are very unorthodox. So the Gyrocopters are going to be going after Azag, probably. Greenskins have ample support on the ground, though. They have the Mangy Marauders plus Wolf Rider Archers, so the Gyrocopters are going to be in a little bit of trouble, unfortunately, for them. Now, the cannon does have 440 range, and the Greenskin cannons have 400, 400. So the Dwarf cannon can force the issue a little bit. Gyrocopters probably want to play it safe, and we're going to see, yeah, the cannon is now shooting. So the cannon's going to be shooting probably at Azag initially. I mean, if it can make any hits, that's good. Azag can't heal himself, so any free shots you can get on Azag is going to be quite nice. But in the meantime, the Dwarves are going to be biding their time. Looks like they are repositioning some troops here. I don't know, that cannon, though, could get overwhelmed. Doomdivers could probably focus it down. But it looks like, yeah, the Wolf Riders actually took a cannon shot to the face, and it took out 9 of the models, which is pretty good value there. So the Althar's Raiders, as Dwarf Rangers do, are going to be going out for a bit of a vanguard here, going to explore perhaps. Don't want to get too overextended, though, because there could be sneaky goblins hiding around any corner. I don't know if he's too close to the White Lion. Let's check. No, he's not. The White Lion, there's plenty of room. So, like, if the Greenskins wanted to get around his back, they can easily do that. So it's not. No, he's fine. Like, there is actually a surprising amount of, like, hill terrain on this map that a lot of people don't know about. But yeah, like, there could be vanguards, like, all kinds of stuff up here. So there's plenty of space here. So he is all good, my friends. So, Azag, in the meantime, the Skulkers are going to be going. It's very much, it feels like it's going to be a game of cat and mouse here. Both players are going to be moving up their artillery, and it certainly is going to be forcing the issue. Now, the Gyro Bombers, if they're able to get those fat, juicy bombs on these blobs of nasty Skulkers or the Black Orcs, it's going to be pretty good. I mean, it could do a lot of damage for sure. And yeah, both players kind of wanting to sit in the back, but, you know, obviously one of them does have the better cannon range, so they're going to be shooting. Cannons are going to be shooting at the Doomdiver catapults, and it looks like they make some okay contact here. These guys are shaken. And Azag is actually going to be using a Spirit Leech on the Gyro Bomber, which isn't a bad idea. Gyro Bomber is going to return some fire, doing a little bit of damage, but the Bomber here is going to be taking the brunt of that. Spirit Leech actually pretty good against these like single entities. So, and now, though, the Greenskin missile line is in range. It is time. There will be a reckoning. The Goblin Rock Lobbers are going to be shooting in, and the Doomdiver volleys are going to be coming in against the Dwarf lines here. And what are they going to target? So, is he going to try and snipe the artillery out? Honestly, I would probably put the Rock Lobbers on top of the Norgelming's Ironbreakers just to wear them down, and then I would get the Doomdivers on top of the cannon. I think that would probably be the optimized way to play this. The Gyrocopters are probably just going to get Spirit Leech into Oblivion by Azag, so he probably wants to pull that back. I would probably keep the Gyro Bomber back here for now. But the onslaught of Greenskin artillery, I mean, this cannon is taking a pounding for sure. Another Spirit Leech is going to be going down on the Gyro Bomber. The Greenskins are using a lot of ammunition on this cannon, though. It is going to be significant by the time they're done shooting here. One Doomdiver Catapult is actually online, and now you can see it looks like they've switched onto the Norgelming's Ironbreakers. Oh my god, look at that volley. It's just trash flying through the air. Ironbreakers took a lot of damage, actually. Went from 90 to 76 models, and the Dwarves are going to have to surge forward, I think. I think at this point, Zero realizes, he's like, oh god, I can't stay back here. This is going to be bad if I do. So, you know, advancing here isn't bad because the Greenskin artillery did not overextend, but it pushed up. So he is going to be able to kind of pressure it rather quickly. And the Gyrocopter is going to be going after Azag a little bit. Honestly, just grab this one and shoot. And the Gyro Bomber is going to be hiding in the back. Althar's Raiders are now visible, so they're going to be susceptible to any sort of focus fire. Greenskin Black Orcs are going to be scooting up here, and the battle's pretty much underway. So the Dwarven Cannon is holding proud. I mean, Dwarven artillery crews are even kind of tanky. They have, I think, some decent stats. I guess it's not that great. But yeah, more so than the Greenskin one. So one Doomdiver Catapult is pretty much fully offline, which is a good value. That cannon's almost already paid for itself. And now it's going to be shooting into Black Orcs, which is also a good choice. And the Greenskins are going to have to, advance their main army. The Black Orcs and company are going to have to fight. And I don't know if he's gotten his money's worth. He's really just shot this cannon and hasn't done too much significant damage. But now shooting into the Ironbreakers, he's starting to accrue some value here. So Althar's Raiders is going to be going in after the Black Orcs first, which is going to be nice. Azag thinking about coming in here. Now the Dwarven Thunders are a little bit behind here. We do have the double Runesmith as well, and the Goblin Archers are going to be shooting in against the Raiders, which is not a good situation. But Zero's dropping some of those fat jukes. Belagar Ironhammer, the Lord of Carrick Apex, so not Warlord, the Lord Carrick Apex is going to scoot forward, and the Dwarven guns are going to be shooting in, going after Azag and getting some pretty good value there. But the Black Orcs are going to be a big obstacle for him. His infantry in the front, I mean, he does have Longbeards, which are pretty good in terms of quality, but Black Orcs will pound them into the Shadow Realm. So the Dwarves are going to be advancing here. As far as Black Orcs, there are 3 groups, so if he gets the gunfire on them, plus the Runes of Wrath and Ruin, every chance you get, it's going to be pretty good. But man, there's pressure coming in. Rigson with the sneaky flank. He is ever the Greenskin player. Is going to be getting the gits around the back. This is going to be a lot of pressure. Those Skulkers, I mean, there are some Dwarf Warriors back here which can protect, and also some Dwarf Warriors here, so I think he may have seen these guys. I think they're visible now. Yeah, so he can see them right now. So he's going to be pulling some Dwarf Warriors to kind of screen those guys out. And the frontline fighting's underway. Blackworks are going to be fighting against Longbeards. Longbeard's going to have a hard time here, but there is a Runesmith helping. Blasting charges coming in from the Ironbreakers, Runes of Wrath and Ruin. And the Blackworks are actually taking a bit of damage there. And I mean, there's 2 heroic units fighting here, so that is going to make a huge difference and will allow them to probably win the fight. Azag's going to be getting Last Samurai. I don't know what he's thinking here. Coming in here, he's going to get marked by Althar here in a second. And Azag, I mean, I think Rixen might have just thrown the game right there by throwing him in. He's just going to get pounded by another volley right here. You can see he's going to be pulling back. Beautiful stuff there. The dwarves are not taking that shit, that's for sure. Belagar Ironhammer is going to be fighting in the front line, going to be headbutting some of these guys. Let's watch Belagar. Belagar actually has some unique attack animations as well. He like jumps on top of things and like clubs them in the head. I've seen him do it against a Crypt Horror. I don't know if he would do it against Blackworks, but... So Belagar's going to be fighting against the Blackworks here. The wall has been popped. Azag survives, but that's something that is going to cost him dearly. Now, this Gyro Bomber has pretty much done nothing. It has 1 kill. It's pretty much been free gold for the Greenskins. It looks like it's just going to get focused down by the archers. So, I mean, though Azag did sacrifice himself, this Gyro Bomber also just did nothing. So, both players are going to be taking substantial losses there. And in the back, Rixen does have a nice little engagement. The Skulkers are going to be able to 2v1 these Dwarf Warriors. And from there, you know, the world is their oyster. The backline, the Raiders, all these guys are going to be open. And Azag going in for the duel. He actually charges Belagar with a Spirit Leech and a big Alpha Strike coming in. So Belagar takes it like a champ. He's very tanky, but Azag has huge AP, a huge charge bonus, and Spirit Leech is going to be super impactful as well. Plus, Belagar is already being surrounded by Blackworks, and Blackworks have really good AP, so he's going to have some problems there. So, battle's very close. Bounce power is a little bit in the favor of the Greenskins, actually, but that's due to Belagar taking so much damage here. And also in the back line, it looks like a couple Gyro Bombs are going to be going down, and the cannon is still online with all 3 models, but it's partially obstructed. So right here, he needs to get these Dwarf Warriors back, because he's actually blocking himself. And it looks like the Greenskins are going to pull ahead on the Bounce of Power. Runes of Wrath and Ruin are able to wear down those Blackworks, but at a cost. Those guys took a beating in the front line. And the artillery for the Greenskins is running on fumes a little bit. I mean, I guess there's still enough to be significant. These Black Orcs are in pretty good shape. Guns are still shooting here, and the nasty Skulker threat in the back line has been dealt with. And yeah, Dawi Blackhawk down for sure. And the Runesmiths are still healthy too, and they should be able to finish off the Black Orcs. A Rune of Wrath and Ruin going down here. So Zero doing a very good job with that, but Rixen with the sneaky get tactics. Even though he made a big mistake there, his Spirit Leeches and sniping of the Gyrocopters has been super good this game. So the Gyrocopter is pretty much a dead investment. I feel like had Zero not brought the Gyrocopters, he would have been like in just outstanding shape right now, had he spent that money on additional infantry or thunderers. So right here, you can see that the Rangers are going to be shooting in to rout off those Black Orcs, and the Greenskins don't really have much in the way of infantry. Oh no, but it looks like Rixen may have actually forgotten about these Skulkers. If he can get those guys engaged right now, that is going to be super impactful. Belagar has rallied, so Belagar is going to be probably holding the back line. I don't think he wants to get too crazy, but the Greenskins are, they're in good shape. The Dwarves are certainly faltering. Dwarf Warriors here, we have Dwarf Warriors here. The Ironbreakers just got pounded so hard by the artillery early that I think they're pretty much just kind of missing right now. And Rixen, the fact that Rixen is doing so well, having already forgotten about these Skulkers, just shows like how much of a misinvestment I think that the Gyrocopters were. So the Runesmith here are going to be dropping the sweet Runes of Wrath and Ruin. This one Runesmith has 333 HP, but that Dawi Resilience is going to keep him going. And you can see here that Rixen's Greenskin forces are going to be crumping on these guys pretty well. I mean, these are the Ironbreakers, so these guys are still holding despite all the damage they took. I mean, there is a way for the Greenskins, or the Dwarves, to get back in this game, for sure. The cannon is still online. If they could like pick off Azag with the cannon, oh man, but dealing with those 2 groups of Skulkers is going to be incredibly difficult. The Black Orcs do crumble here. Oh, this is actually big. This is pretty big. The back line, I mean, if the Dwarves can sweep through and clean up all these artillery pieces that are just conveniently located next to one another, that is going to be super big. Oh no, and Azag's actually broken off. The cannon is able to get Azag. And in the back, we do have some Dwarves rallying here. But again, these 2 groups of full health Skulkers, that might have cost Rixen like a secured victory. I mean, these guys coming back in here is going to be pretty big against these tattered dwarves. So the Black Orcs are coming in. Is there any rune magic? That is going to be pretty substantial. These Dwarf Warriors are able to clean up shop on this Doomdiver Catapult. They've destroyed it, and now Zero has to get these guys and just clean down the line. Azag is going to be running off the map from the cannon fire, and we're going to see what happens here. So the Dwarves, I mean, Belagar is holding on. He's got 774 HP, very much a Dwarf situation, just beat up and tattered in a brutal fight, but still holding firm. We got some guns back as well. Those guys are going to be quite good against these nasty Skulkers here, who are going to be engaging against Ironbreakers, which is good. If they're going to be engaging against anyone, might as well be those guys. And the entire Greenskin Artillery Corps, with the exception of 1 Rock Clobber, is actually offline back here due to these 1 heroic Dwarf Warriors. So both players playing a very tight game right now. Bounce power is ebbing back and forth, still an advantage for the Greenskins, but we're going to see if Belagar Ironhammer can lead his forces, lead his people back from the depth, the despair, and it looks like he might be able to. 685 HP, Belagar is able to break those Black Orcs there, and the Goblins aren't going to hold for terribly long without him. So King Belagar, what a hero. He's wavering. Is he going to break? He's going to bend, but he's not going to break. Gyrocopter's coming back in. Dwarves fighting in the back. And, all the Greenskin artillery crews just came back, and the Skulkers are able to clean those guys up. If the artillery can get back in and start shooting at this Dwarven blob, that is going to be very powerful. Dwarf Cannon is out of ammunition. This Runesmith is breaking, but, man. Yeah, get those Gyrocopters and chase off those Skulkers. That would probably be your best play right there, because that is a very healthy, powerful group of Greenskins. Now, the Dwarves are going to be advancing. Belagar does have 649 HP. He's going to be going in there. We do also have the nasty Skulkers here fighting, though. They're pretty healthy, but Dwarf Warriors are going to be able to put up a fight there, especially if their king is coming. Now, the Wolf Rider Archers are going to be shooting at Belagar. He does have a silver shield, so he has the fat block chance. It's not a gold shield, but it's still very, very good. Doomdiver Catapults are getting back online. Oh, man, he needs to shut those guys down. And it looks like the Wolf Rider Archers might waver. No, they're shaken. Rune of Wrath and Ruin going down here on the Nasty Skulkers, and it looks like the Forces of Zero are going to be colliding in there. What an amazing series here. And the Norgumlings Ironbreakers are going to be shutting down the Rock Lobbers again. It might actually shatter them. So we have some Black Orcs coming back. We have some Orc Air Boys. And the balance of power is now in the favor of the Greenskins again. But, oh man, as their stuff comes back and goes, these Thunders are also going to be waddling back up the hill here to shoot. And they could really pound out those Black Orcs if they can get that volley fire in there. Dwarf Warriors fighting here. Dwarf Warriors. Norgumlings Ironbreakers are able to break these guys off, so that is going to be big. And look at this, the balance of power is just wild. Belagar Ironhammer holding firm, 640 HP. Oh, but the Dwarven guns are back. They're going to be shooting at the Black Orcs. That's big. Norgumlings Ironbreakers are going to be taking some heavy damage here from the Black Orcs. They've taken... oh man, they're holding pretty firm. I mean, 86 melee defense is still 86 melee defense. It's pretty substantial. Belagar needs to be careful not to get enveloped by the Goblins or Black Orcs and go down, because the Dwarf army would really, really struggle with leadership if that happens. Here we do have the Goblin Rock Lobber, which somehow is back online. Smoke Bomb has been popped, and some of the Dwarf Warriors are going to be chasing off this very tattered pocket of Greenskins. Oh my god, what a stressful game. What a stressful game. And here you can see the Norgumlings Ironbreakers and King Belagar going to be fighting in the pits here. And yeah, the Goblins are in there shanking, but the 86 melee defense on those Ironbreakers, those guys are holding. They still have 65 leadership, and they're almost dead. Such badass units. So they're able to hold off the Skulkers. The Greenskins are in a bit of a mass rout right now. They still have Skulkers here. They have 88, and it looks like Rigson does have some Archers over here. And in the back, what do we got? We got some Archers. And the Greenskins are running on fumes here. And there was a couple things that I think may cost Rigson the game. Number one, letting Azag take that initial volley from the Thunderers. Get him. He could have been like healthy right now and just cleaning up. And number two, forgetting about those two nasty Skulkers. Had they get pushed up earlier, they would have just cleaned up that back line easily. So that may have cost him. But again, the Dwarves rallying pretty ferociously. The Runesmith here is in good shape. Belagar's in good shape, but the Greenskins are not done yet. I mean, they keep coming back. They're a perpetual menace. The Thunderers in the back have a little bit of Overwatch fire they could lend to the front line here. Some Skulkers coming in, and it looks like King Belagar and his Runesmith are just going to be chasing down the Archer units who are now out of ammunition. Man, this is crazy. This is an insane game. This Eternal Challenger League has been so good for close games, just across the board. The first match was extremely close. This one has been so close. This has been a great series. So Skulkers and Black Orcs are going to be charging in. The Dwarves are going to rush to intercept them. These Black Orcs are out for blood, though. They're going to be crumping some gits for sure. But the 86 melee defense of these Ironbreakers, is it going to hold firm? Let us go ahead and double check here. They're at 37 leadership despite having less than 1,000 HP and almost no models left. Belagar's going to be rushing in as well to help out. And the Skulkers and Archer Boys, Archer Boys are going to be charging in here. And if Belagar goes down, though, that could be trouble for the Dwarves. The Dwarf Warriors are buckling here. The Runesmith is... Oh, are the Greenskins going to be able to pull this out? Just with sheer numbers over here, the Cannon Crews are fighting for the Dwarves. The Rangers are fighting in melee. This is a true grudge match. Oh no, but the Ironbreakers are wavering. -7, can Belagar hold? And Belagar's breaking. Oh no. Oh no, Belagar breaks, 381 HP. The Runesmith is still fighting though. And the Black Orcs have 17 models left. That is pretty substantial. And the Dwarves, oh no, the Greenskins might be able to get back into this. Crazy stuff. There's still 21 Black Orcs here. And oh, there's more coming back. As far as what the Dwarves have left on the map, they have the Runesmith. Belagar, he needs to come back. For them to win, Belagar needs to come back here. I mean, the Dwarves don't have a whole lot of anything. They have a couple Rangers who may come back. They're broken, but they're out of ammo. The Runesmith is going to be fighting. If he can focus down the Black Orcs, and if Belagar comes back, oh my god, this is just madness. This is madness. Skulkers are going to be chasing off some of those Dwarf Warriors. The thing that Rigson has going for him is he has a mobility, and that Runesmith's wavering as well. He's fully surrounded. He's sitting at 10 leadership. Is he going to be able to hold? The issue for him being is that he's fighting Black Orcs. Black Orcs have really good AP, so they're going to be able to punch through his 120 armor, no problem. Belagar's coming back in, rushing to the aid of his fellow Dawi here, and the Greenskins are going to take the game. Wow. That was nuts. I cannot believe it. Rigson coming in with his greenskin grit, rallying his forces nonstop. Despite a couple mistakes, he comes in with the steel chair and wins the series. Wow. What a game. I feel like both players should get to advance now, but there's nothing I can do about that, unfortunately. Well, I could, but it would change the rules of every tournament. Man, that was crazy. Well played. So Rigson is going to take that series 2-1. Rigson to finals. Chief is hosting. So they both said GG, and now we're going to be going to the finals lobby here. Now we gotta hold on. And let's make sure. We're going to go to the bracket, actually, for a second. Rigson is going to be advancing to the finals to face Chief. That was a great game. I know the bomber was rough. What happened with that? So yeah, guys, we're in the finals now. We're in the end game now. All right, so let me go ahead here. Double check in Discord. All right, hold on. All right. All right, Chief is going to be hosting the game, guys. He says he's coming. He's going to be setting it up. And we are in the grand finals. Belagar was a hero of his people. However, I think had it been like Grombrindle or like even like Ungrim, or probably would have been better. Yeah, the Drow Bomber not getting his money's worth was rough. All right, so the game is going to be getting set up here in a second. Hang tight, my friends. And we are on to the grand finals, which is going to be Chief versus Rigson. I'm quite excited for this. Zero brought a pretty heroic build. Belagar, gyrocopters. It was awesome. That was awesome. That last battle was so good. Oh my god. It was so good. And we got a donation from the Spirit of Gorg. Thus we have waited, thus we have yearned, for bloodshed and battles have so long been adjourned. At last we shall see, at last we shall gaze upon murder and mayhem, and a world set ablaze. Victorious, who shall emerge? Part 2 incoming. Spirit of Gorg, thank you for the $20 donation. That was a great piece right there. That was really good, man. That was awesome. Oh my god, thank you for the donation, man. This one's hyped. All right. Hang on, I'll read the next part here in a second. So I'm in. And as far as the maps go, let me just get the maps to the players. Iron Sand Desert is a good one. Let's see. Ashen and what should we do for the last map? We have a couple choices. All right, let's jump back to the lobby as we set up here. We'll need to Rigson will be on the right side, so that'll actually be easy. I don't have to change too much. And then we gotta update this, and we have Chief. Cool. We can do the trying to decide on the last map right now. I thought I'd pick map for the finals, yeah, but I didn't yet. Troll Country is a good one. All right, the maps have been sent out to the host. We're going to get Rigson in the game here in just a moment. It is. We're at the very end of the live stream here, though. It's wrapping up, my friends. Well, not really. We still have a best of 5, so it could potentially be like another hour. All right, Spirit of Gorg with part 2. Will it be Order or will it be Scourge? When all is said and done, a name set in stone and a voice in the darkness, chanting these words alone. Blood for the Blood God and skulls for the Skull Throne. So hype, thank you for the $10 donation plus the 20, Spirit of Gorg. It is time, it is the finals. It is going to be Rigson facing off against BBB Chief, the clan leader of Clan BBB, believe it or not. What a hyped set of games today. What a hyped set of games. Oh yeah. Some great writing there too. I enjoyed that quite a bit. So for game one, it's going to be, so yes. This is best of 5. So they're having a couple of 3-0 sweeps, but generally the best of 5s usually do, at least have, both players winning a game and then from there going on. We're going to be on Engui, which is one of the more balanced multiplayer maps here. Tiamat64 says, this final needs to be good. I'm just about to start an hour on the exercise bike. Hopefully we'll get you there, man. You did. Anton, you're here for the finals, my friend. You are. Yeah, drop a like if you guys enjoyed the battle so far, please. It's quite helpful. Jason Denny, thank you for the 1999 for some of the best games I've ever seen on this game. Jason, thank you, man. Again, for your perpetual support over the years. You've been with me since the beginning. I appreciate it, man. Norska's good. Yeah, Norska's a good faction. They don't have as many options as it pertains to Legendary Lords, but Norska is still a very competitive faction. So, yeah, I think it's Spain versus Australia. Yeah, we got Australia. Rigson's from Australia, and then we got Spain here for Clan BBB for the Chief. Yeah, we had High Elves earlier, I believe. I think we had a High Elf game. I can't remember. It's been a while. We got the great Romulan Dog in chat as well. He's qualified. He's going to be there in the finals. So it looks like Chief is going to be picking the Greenskins and banning Vampire Coast, and Rigson is going to be going with the Rat Pack, the Skaven. Hell yeah, this is a really fun matchup. Just seeing hordes of goblins fighting hordes of rats. It's so good. So it's going to be good. John Doe, you have a standing desk. I've always wondered about those in terms of like ergonomics and stuff. Are you able to game on it? I feel like it'd be tricky, but I don't know. Someday I'd like to try one. The dislike was a misclick. Yeah, we'll be getting a Lotus Moon in for sure. Will the Australian ping bless him or curse him, says Misha. Oh, man. So Falcon says, we were rooting for you, to be honest. You're a true hero of the people. As referring to Zero. Anna arises. Misha, you use a standing desk too, huh? I might have to try that someday. Romulan says his qualifier was the only one offline. Feels bad. Well, at least the videos went up. And as a matter of fact, your grand finals got their own video, which hopefully people enjoyed. But yeah, it's definitely more fun when it's live. Yeah, I think that's to be it has been proven here today. And it looks like Rigson's rats are ready, and Chief's Greenskins making some final tweaks to the army, making sure he has answers for everything. And we're going to see what happens in this best of 5 finals. The best Empire Legendary Lord? I think Scarab, it's circumstantial. They're all better and good in different matchups, so I think that's too tough of a question. Karl Franz is great, though. Franz and Toddy are just awesome characters. But Gelt is more niche. But yeah, Franz and Toddy are really similar. I mean, basically, if you want to go with a build where you don't need healing, I mean, Toddy's a better pick, and otherwise Karl's a better pick in general, I think. The rat side. My money is on the evil stinky guys, says the Legend 27. Well, you might have to clarify a little bit more, because both of these factions are quite stinky, I'm sure. I mean, Greenskins I don't think are like, I feel like they're just like savage and brutish, like they're not like evil, like purely evil, I guess. I mean, I don't know, maybe somebody can tell me differently. I mean, yeah, I guess they are kind of evil. Yeah. I don't really know. That would be more a question for the great lore master of Sotek. Doing good, Charlie. Thank you for asking. It's true, Romulan. That is 100% accurate. It was just so intense, we had to split it into two, or else the YouTube would have exploded with excitement. All right. So, for the rat tide, well, it's a little bit hard to tell what's what here. So first, we're going to go look at the greenskins. So for the forces of Chief and the greenskins, he's going to be going with Azag, which is a great pick against Skaven. Spirit Leeching Skaven Lords is very strong. He can kill the Skaven Lords. He has terror spells if you'd like against Skaven, but it looks like he's just going to be going for the pure Spirit Leech. He does also have 4 Forest Goblin Spider Riders, another great choice. With their mass, they can pin down the Skaven constructs. They're pretty good at harassing gun lines, just a very good utility choice here, and they're also shielded. For the rest of the Greenskin army, it's going to be Goblins, it's going to be Orc Biggins, which are a nice dual-purpose unit. They can monster mash the infantry, plus they're also quite good against Rat Ogres and Helped Abominations, and, okay against Flayers and things like that. 3 groups of Goblin Archers, plus 1 Troll in the back, just in case a Flayer does get through. It's nice to have the mass of Trolls. So a good little Greenskin army here, definitely liking the way it looks, I guarantee ya. And for the forces of the Skaven, who are going to be played by Rigson. He does have the Icket's Zap Zap cannon in the back. Pretty much a must against the Greenskins. It is so damn good against Greenskin Lords. It can basically, keep them from casting the wall. Skaven Slaves, on top of that, he does have a couple groups of Plague Monks, it looks like, and they're good against Greenskins and Biggins. They can actually put a big dent in Biggins. We got Lord Skrulk, going to be coming in with the summons, plus his Liber Bubonicus and his Rod of Corruption. 2 Skaven Slaves. The Blight Scab's Plague Pack. Now, these are an interesting pick here because oftentimes Greenskins can focus them down pretty heavily with archers, plus high DPS, cheap Greenskin infantry can also hurt them quite badly. But, they also can, pack a lot of punch, and they do contaminate, which tanks leadership. He also has a Helped Abomination, and that is pretty much it, aside from 1 group of Storm Vermin. So a nice little army here. Very mixed forces, not too much into the gun line or too much into the monster mash. It's a pretty well-rounded army, so we're going to see how it does against this Greenskin force. So while the players set up, we shall hang tight. Oh yeah. There's going to be a lot of units. We have the great Shadow Online Gaming joining in chat. Yes, he arrives. The mighty rising from the deep. All right, so Skrulk is, he needs to watch out though. Skrulk is going to get spam Spirit Leeched, but if Rigson is, playing very carefully here, what I would do is just leave Skrulk back here until the later game, and then just use the Zap Cannon to just sit on Azag the entire time. So if Azag wants to Spirit Leech Skrulk, he's going to have to overcast it, which could potentially hurt himself. So that would be my 2 cents about that play. As far as the Skaven gunline, though, actually it looks like he doesn't really have any gunline, aside from a couple slingers, just some of these Walmart Skaven Slave slingers. He doesn't have any Jezzails or Rattling guns. The only new units he's really going to be using are the Arwar. So he has the Plague Pack, he has the Zap Cannon, and looks like, yeah, I mean, aside from that, it's a pretty old school Skaven army. Pre-Prophet in the Warlock DLC. Yeah, that was a really good series in the last Eternal Challenger League Finals when we had Falcon facing off against Lotus Moon. That was a really, really intense series. Yes. Yes, yes. Shadow says he's one with the shadows. I like that. That's good. So the Helped Abomination is going to be a thing. As far as Greenskins go, they have plenty of answers, though. They have Orc Biggins plus Archers. They have a lot of answers against that Helped Abomination. Plus Azag with his Spirit Leeches can also drag it down rather quickly. So the Helped might actually be a little bit of a scary investment here, but still, it does cause terror. So Terror Rod is always pertinent here. And the Icked Zap Cannon going to be shooting in, obviously, on its auto fire, and it does hit the trees. So the Greenskins do have the benefit of having a little bit of Shroud cover here as they do advance. But Azag needs to be careful. If he gets hit with even one of those, it's going to add 15 seconds to his wall, which means he's not going to be able to use the wall in the beginning of the fight. So what Chief will probably do is just hide Azag in the back, wait for the main army to advance, pop his wall, and then he'll come forward, which I think would be the much safer play in this situation. So in the meantime, Forest Goblin Spider Riders are going to be surging forth. The Zap Cannon is going to be shooting and missing. And honestly, not too many good targets for the Zap Cannon. The Greenskin player, Chief here, did a very good job just going wide against Skaven, which is typically the way to beat them. Honestly, shooting the Trolls is probably going to be his best bet. I mean, you just want to get rid of those hard hitters, and because they can push through your line and whatnot. So they're going after the Forest Goblin Spider Riders. They kill 4 models there, which isn't bad. Probably going to start shooting at the Trolls, so that would probably be my 2 cents. I mean, taking out the mobility isn't bad either, but he doesn't have too much in the back line he needs to protect, so killing the Spider Riders aren't like a big threat to his current build. Now he's shooting at the Trolls, which is good. He does make contact. Trolls are going to run back into the forest. So a very good micro by Chief, realizing that his priority targets need to be hidden initially to make sure he can get that optimized engagement. So the main force is going to be coming forward here. You can see that Forest Goblin Spider Riders going up and around, going to be looking to maybe squeak in there and get on top of those Skaven Slaves. We'll find out. And the Skaven Slaves just going to be falling back here. Greenskin Wah coming in. They're ready to party. Azag staying out of range of the Zap Cannon, making sure to get that Wah. And it's probably going to be popped here in a second, I would imagine, to make sure these Goblins get the benefit. And the front line for this Skaven is just Skaven Slaves, which, not saying too much. He might save the wall, actually, to make sure. So a lot of people use Skaven slaves in the front to bait the wall, because you think you're fighting the main line, and then they send forward the more powerful troops. But I think that Chief, being a veteran player here, obviously, is probably going to be saving the wall to make sure he can pop it once the more elite troops get in, like the Centaur Bears and the Plague Monks and the Storm Vermin and stuff like that. So the archers are now in range. The Orc Airboy is probably going to be shooting here at the Plague Pack or also at the Hell Pit Abomination. I'd probably shoot the Plague Pack for now, and then just the Hell Pit's probably going to be more defensive here in the back line anyways. And Goblin Wolf Riders are, or Spider Riders around the back here. Could potentially threaten back here and attack the Skaven Slaves with spears. I mean, they're just Skaven Slaves, so it's not going to be too bad. The Plague Pack taking some Archer Fire, and also these Plague Monks taking Archer Fire, and now there should be a wall. It should get popped right now, because the frontline fighting is actually underway with the appropriate targets. Although he may have been hit with one, and we just didn't see it. But there should be a wall right now, because the Plague Monks are fighting the Greenskin troops. This is where you really want your shock damage. Force Goblin Spider Riders charging to the front line as well. Azag does get hit with the Libra Bonicus from Skrulk, which is going to be quite strong. And the archers are shooting at Rat Ogres, just mixed targets, shooting at Plague Pack. They probably want to focus the same target, and it looks like a Spirit Leech is going down. Oh no, and I think he got hit. I think he got hit at some point, so there isn't going to be a waft for the Greenskins for a long time. So good stuff there from Rigson and his Skaven people. Now the frontline fight's underway. Storm Vermin are going to hold here very well against this troop. The Hell Pit Abomination has surged into the back line, which makes it vulnerable. Honestly, getting Azag and just going after the Hell Pit with some archer support probably wouldn't be a bad idea. But the Plague Pack is just punching through the Warlords boys. These guys are just getting just crumped. However, I mean, they are immune to Psych, but I mean, I guess there's no Terror coming in here, so it's not going to be a big deal. They're probably going to break in a matter of seconds. Skrulk is also going to be summoning the Plague Monks back here behind these troops, which is good. And this Hell Pit is actually doing a surprisingly good job. However, in the back line, absolute catastrophe for the Skaven. The Goblins were able to squeak through, plus Force Goblin Spider Riders zerging all over the Zap Cannon. So the Zap Cannon in the entire Skaven back line, or just the Zap Cannon mainly, is pretty much done for. So very, very good play by the Greenskins. The front line is looking a little bit tough for them, but they're able to just push into the back and get a lot of work done. And a lot of the Skaven slaves chose to hide in the forest instead of actually defending their artillery piece, which is great. So Plague Monks in the front fighting with Lord Skrulk, and they're able to chew down the Biggins and the Night Goblins here in the front line. Over here, the Plague Pack is actually now fighting Biggins, which isn't going to be great for them. Biggins hit very, very hard. Yes, Plague Pack in a vacuum would win in a 1v1 environment, but I still think that they're going to be taking a lot of casualties here. And this is also a little bit bad for the Greenskins. The Hell Pit Abomination has just been running rampant, and the Plague Monk summon, even though it's going to disappear, is still chasing and keeping these archers from shooting the Hell Pit Abomination, which is just going to be feasting on the souls of these Orc Airboys. Now, Azak up in the skies is in pretty good shape. I wonder if he's going to go after the Hell Pit Abomination or if he's going to lend his aid in the main fight. Honestly, going for an Alpha Strike on the Hell Pit is probably what I would do. He does have the trolls in the back. Pull the trolls in, pull all the archers in, go for the Hell Pit, but no, it looks like he's going to be going in the back. He could also try and snipe Skrulk. Spirit Leeching Skrulk and attacking him. He does have the Council Guard. I did not see this. So Rigson actually has the Council Guard, which is going to give Guardian to Skrulk, so maybe it's kind of de-incentivizing him from attacking Skrulk, perhaps. But the Hell Pit's still in the back, just working on archers. I mean, it would be so much better in the front line with its terror, but anyway, Skrulk is going to be fighting with the Plague Pack here. These Orc Biggins are going to be getting collapsed here because a summon dropped behind them is going to tank their leadership, plus the Contaminate from the Centaur Bears. These guys are not going to be having a good time. So it looks like the Skaven hordes are in relatively good shape in the center. However, Azag and the back have completely cleaned up the back. The Greenskins have very good battlefield control, and they still have a ton of healthy infantry. So though it looks bad for them, the Skaven, this is like all they really have. Whereas the Greenskins are kind of like spread out across the entire map, and they have a lot of assets everywhere. Hell Pit Abomination is going to be getting focused. It definitely is going to want to get on these trolls here and just shatter them or finish them off. And it looks like they are going to break right here. So man, quite a battle. Quite a battle right here. Hell Pit Abomination going to keep charging. Skrulk is going to be dropping a summon. I don't know if the summon is necessary right here, but it looks like he is going to be using a Plague Monk summon to maybe chase down the archers. And the Greenskins are going to be coming in with the Warlords boys. These guys are unbreakable, rocking a rock hard 21 kills, which is pretty good. And here you can see the Warlords boys are going to be engaging, and the Plague Monks and company are going to be fighting as well. So very, very close fight. Balance of power is slightly in the favor of the Greenskins. Azag does get hit with another Liber Bubonicus, which is going to be quite impactful. And the Council Guard are going to be very, very important here, giving that freaking Guardian to Skrulk. But Skrulk gets jumped by Azag. Azag coming in with that fat Spirit Leech. Chief coming in for that Alpha Strike. And remember, if you just look at this part of the battlefield, you might be like, oh, the Skaven are going to probably run this over. But if you look back here, there's Goblins coming. There's a full health group of Biggins back here somewhere. Yeah, it looks like 73 right there. Pretty impactful stuff. So there's certainly a lot of threats left. And Skrulk was able to survive that. The Council Guard was helping. Plus, you also have the Blight Scabs Plague Pack, which do have the ability called Demagoguery, which means all nearby Skaven troops are going to be immune to psychology. Therefore, they can't be terror routed if they stay in a blob, which is working out very well here in the late game. Spirit Leech coming down on Skrulk, though. Azag is going to be cackling with his evil death magic up in the skies. And the Skaven are going to be surging forth, trying to take out these Orc Airboys. And Skaven, without a leadership, without leaderless Skaven, I don't know why my brain's just not working right now, my apologies. is it's scary for sure. Skaven can crumble really quick. So Storm Vermin here are going to continue to fight. 133 kills on these armored rat boys. These guys doing some great work, but you can see here that Azag is simply going to AP through them and also terror out them. And the Greenskins coming in with a bit of a secondary wall coming in here. You can see Forest Goblin Spider Riders emerging from the forest. But something that is going okay for the Skaven is the fact that they do have this Hellpit Abomination that's healing. So that is going to be a threat that is going to be kind of increasing over time. Rusty Arrows though are here, Orc Arrow Boys. Are there any other Greenskin Archers? I mean, that's still enough to kind of pepper those guys down. And the Skaven are trying to just pick off the Archers methodically, which is good, because that frees up the Hellpit Abomination to be a terror. So these Orc Arrow Boys are going to be crumbling pretty quick. Negative 28 leadership, they're getting contaminated and just beaten down. But he needs to make sure to actually like do impactful damage to them. Just breaking them isn't enough, because they'll just come back and start shooting you again. Another Spirit Leech going down on Lord Skrulk, and Liber Bubonicus has also done some really good damage back to Azag, but I think the Skaven are simply going to buckle due to army losses at some point. I mean, look how many Greenskins there are. They're everywhere. The Green Tide is just swarming. They're just numerous, yeah, everywhere. Biggins, you got Goblins, you got Orc Biggins. I mean, and Trolls coming back, Archers to shoot the Hell Pit. Azag is relatively healthy, and now he's going to be swooping in, and he's just going to feast on the soul of Skrulk. So Skrulk is it just made me think. Yeah, whenever I like was casting with Spartacus at the the Everchosen, I used to always like whenever like a rat or something would run, I'd be like, what kind of a sound do you think he's making right now? Yeah, just brought back a funny memory. But Rigson is going to be grabbing the Hellpit Abomination, actually trying to guard Skrulk. So maybe trying to salvage him for like one more spell. But you know, I think that Azag can maybe even come in here and fight the Hellpit. Now it's still risky, but he's going to be dropping a Spirit Leech just to guarantee the kill. And the rest of the Skaven forces, I mean, they're so beat up. And there's so many Greenskins. It's just going to be the Council Guard fighting. And they are unbreakable, the Council Guard, but these albino rat people. But no, they're not going to be able to hard carry, because they're going to get fully surrounded. And they are tanky, but their damage output is too low. They only have 29 melee attack and 28 weapon strength. So they're not going to be able to burn through 73 Biggins. The Biggins would probably be able to win that fight single-handedly. And with that, it's going to be army losses in game one going to Chief. BBB Chief coming in. Green Tide. Rolling it on over. Rolling it on over. Professor Pipes with the excellent commentary. Swiggity Swooty. Killing that rat booty. Most certainly the situation that's going on right now. So the Council Guard will hold to the bitter end, but alas, he is going to bow out of the game, because again, it's just kind of wasting time at that point. Well played to both players. That was a great game. That was a great game. You know, Rigson was able to really deny that Wa early. But I think when his backline got swept by the Greenskins, there was like the Zap Cannon, all his slingers, and then that allowed like a rear charge onto his main troops. I think that was the big deciding factor. Still a very, very close game there. That's going to be 1-0 for Chief, and we're going to be moving on to the next game as these players do pick their armies. Greenskins are having a pretty good day here, for sure. They're having a good run in today's tournament. Oh. The pie does sound pretty good right now. Lady Turn and I have been getting yogurt, so there's like we found a pretty good yogurt place nearby that's our oh, calzone. Anna can actually hear me. She's nearby, so you hear the squeal from the shadows. I don't know if they could hear that. Maybe.
But they can hear the request to make me coffee, husband.
I will make you coffee.
Good.
Yeah. That was a good battle. So the next map is going to be Kelp and Cold Dust, which is a good map. You don't see it terribly often, but the players are doing their picks and bans right now. So this is the next map, and I believe it's Rigson's turn to pick and ban. So he can play Greenskins. Of course, he played Skaven, and he's a Greenskin main, so I have a feeling he's going to pick Greenskins and probably ban Vampire Coast or Vampire Counts. Counts for Greenskins isn't as bad. It's probably Coast who's a little bit more problematic. Yeah, Greenskins are really good. Yeah. Chief's on point today. He's doing really good. He's doing some really good work. He is doing some solid stuff. And it looks like Rigson's going to be going with his Vampire Coast, one of his favorite factions. He'll pick Coast, and he's banning Dwarves. And the other maps, I got to scroll up to get those. And Chief is going to be typing the maps, which is going to be very nice. So thank you, Chief, for your help. Yeah, so he's planning ahead, because again, there's still more maps to come, so he's trying to make sure he doesn't use his best factions, or he wants to make sure to optimize the factions based on the maps they're going to be on, which is good. So while the players pick the army, I will be right back. All right, guys, I'm back from outer space. You came in to find me with that sad look upon my face. I should have changed that stupid lock. Should have thrown away the key. If I had known for just 1 second that you'd be back to bother me. All right, guys. It's going to be the Vampire Coast facing off against Norska. That's going to be fun. I'm excited to see Norska in action. Rickson, of course, loves his cannon build, so if Chief knows what's good for him, he's probably going to be going super wide, I would imagine. And just trying to get that big, thick, wide Norscan army just to swarm all over the guns. Yes. Yes. Yeah, we got the coffee done. The Empire needs a halfling hot pot to be any good. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Well, we have like a Pwn. That's ridiculous. Damn, Professor Pwn, you've been a sponsor of this channel for 1 year and 7 months, dude. I think you have the highest tier. You have the Job of the Hut one. If I had known for 1 second, you'd be back to bother me. You Pipes is like, please, mammoths. Mammoths are so risky against Vampire Coast. They're so risky, my dude. I don't know. We could see him, though. I mean, he is up a game, so going with like a risky blitz build with like mammoths could pay off. Good luck, have fun. Chief is ready. Rigson is going to be making the final tweaks to his army. Instant coffee. Yeah, we have like instant coffee. Yeah, it's really good actually. Oh, Captain, my Captain. So Rido, you're actually in the grand finals. We're in the finals right now. Currently, Chief is up 1 game, I think. Yeah. It was a really good first game, though. Today's ECL have been some of the best games, like, in general. $20 stack of Berserkers? Oh, God. No, regular Marauders are just better in this matchup, because you don't need Berserkers to kill deckhand mobs. It's overkill. Plus, they don't have shields. Yeah, I mean, Mammoths are good against Depth Guard, but Rigson and most Coast players are probably going to use guns in, like, a wide back line here. I mean, they can go with, like, a Krabby Patty build, but, yeah. Pwn, the first game we played was Dawn of War 3? Really? I feel like we would have played Total War before that. Huh. The finals are a best of 5, Hercules. And glad to see you in stream, Herc. It's been good chatting with you, man. Sorry if I don't get back to all the messages. My typing is quite painful for me, so sometimes I zone out. I'm just like, I can't type anymore, I'm done. Queen Bessie blasting the barnacles off them Berserkers. Well, we'll see. All right, so Palpatine, thank you for your service blocking. Much appreciated as always. And Romulan Dog asks, where are the devastating purple suns? I have my sunscreen. Romulan is the king of purple suns after his last qualifier. Oh man, that was such a good cast. Yes, I do think there could be a 40k Total War. I think it would be really cool. I hope they do it. They already have a relationship with Games Workshop, so why would they not, in my opinion? Damn, that's crazy, Pwn. Guess that was a long-ass time ago. All right, so let's make sure the screen blocker is actually gone and I'm not seeing things. We're good. All right, let's take a look at the armies of Rigson. So Rigson is going to have a gun line. He's got the black spot, but he also has the pistol mobs. So he has a good combination of the two. The pistol mobs, of course, quite good against Berserkers and light armor. And like Manscores, things like that. And the handguns are going to be better against Famir and bigger targets. He does also have a Rotting Leviathan, a couple groups of Sirens, which I like quite a bit. Sirens do cause terror. So having a couple of those sticky, tanky terror units in the front line, I feel like is going to be quite good. And he's got Count Noctiluss on foot. Pretty standard stuff. Going to be going for those summons. He's certainly going with the plays of old. And it looks like a Carronade in the back with a Halberd defending it. So, yeah, a bit of a mixed forces army. Not too heavy in the gun line. He does have a big old crab to be a bit of a distraction Carnifex. But Norska looks like they've come ready to hunt. It's a very small map here. And you can see here that there are going to be Marauder Hunters with Javelins who are going to be fiending for that crab, to say the least. He does also have a couple Marauders, a couple Berserkers in the secondary line. So the front line, if they don't take too much gunfire, is going to be in good shape. Berserkers over here. Double Manticore up in the sky. So he does have the Feral Manticores, which, they hit relatively hard. Against the guns, they will falter quite quickly in the Halberd, so he's going to need to make sure to get a really, really good timing on them. He's got Wolfric on foot with his Haggard Pirate Ship of the Gods. I'm really surprised he didn't bring Hunter of Champions. That is a really good ability, but he does have the Sea Fang, and then he does also have Fireball and the Flaming Sword, plus the 2 scrolls of power and shielding. So, cool little force right here. Looking forward to seeing how it goes. The Javelins are going to be super good against the Crab. He does have a wide enough army to get around, but the Sirens, I think, are going to be tough. He doesn't have too much magic damage, aside from the Flaming Sword of Ruin, so it's really going to come down to getting that Flaming Sword on top of the units that are fighting the Sirens. So, yes. I mean, KPS Polis, to answer your question, I mean, 40k, formations aren't really a thing in tabletop. I mean, yeah, there's like, a unit can be called like a formation as like a tactical thing, like, but, I mean, typically it's like, yeah, you don't have like a unit of like, let's say Chaos Cultists or Space Marines and say they're in a certain formation, you just kind of space them how you want to. Yeah. It's time. Yeah, I know. Hunter of Champions is such a good ability. I'm surprised he didn't bring it, but maybe he was just like wanted to get one more unit and just... It's so good. Like, it's such a good ability. Wolfric on foot isn't bad, though, against Vampire Coast. He has a silver shield instead of a bronze one. He's a harder target, and he's still able to beat down Noctilus probably in a duel, so... Noctilus has been nerfed with his melee defense and HP. So, Norska in 2 very, very split armies, so he's going to have to... I mean, Vampire Coast could even actually like rush this if they want to and try and like force a fight while this army's still like moving in. It's like a reinforcing army from campaign over here. Yeah, so the Marauders are coming in. Let's see what they say here. It says, good luck, have fun. Says Rigson, always the true gentleman. A good man. And yeah, the Marauders are just going to be waiting here. Yeah, which is a good idea. He needs to wait for this army to come around. But there's not much fighting room over here. So to commit such a massive portion of your army to fight over here in this choke, I think is a mistake. What I would do is grab the Marauders and the Berserkers and send them over here and then send like the other rest, the rest of the corps around here, which I think would be good. This frontline army, if this was to engage by itself, would probably get smashed by the gunfire. So he's going to have to wait. He's going to have to wait and see for the goods. Hold on, guys. Just doing some stretches and things like that. Oh, I have no idea what a Famir actually is. Sotek can answer that. There's some sort of a swamp beast. Yes. All right, so the forces of Chief are coming around the flank here. I mean, it's certainly going to overwhelm this position. They're going to be able to beat down this zombie-powered jet cannon rather easily. It's a little bit of overkill, actually. And you can see Vampire Coast, I think, may realize this, and they might send in the Crab. There is cannon fire. There is a carronade back here. So every second Norska doesn't engage, it's going to be taking more armor. Granted, there's no big targets that are really being pounded by that. Feral Manticores are going to be hiding. So this Marauder is going to be attacking the deckhand mob. Marauders will win that fight, which is good, especially the Norscan ones, because they do have the enrage mechanic. And the rest of the Norscan army is going to be hammering this flank, so... You can see here, Rigson is going to have to switch his forces. He's going to have to pull some deckhand mobs to screen here, get some guns online, maybe put some Sirens over there. That's all going to be very important. In the meantime, it looks like Rigson is also going to be scooting out the black spot to get some shots, and they're going to be able to hammer Marauder Hunters a little bit. I mean, the Hunters will, of course, give it back once they get in range, but it's still going to be a decent situation. Cannon is going to be switching onto the Marauder Hunters on the far side. The Marauders are actually beating down the deckhand mobs who are fleeing. So the zombies with a tactical retreat here are going to be shambling away, taking some attacks in the back as the Marauders do pursue. They're much faster, 35 against 23. So they are taking some damage, but the Rotting Leviathan, this is actually a good situation for him because by fighting close to the edge of the map here, anything that gets terror routed is going to just run right off the map. So, I don't know, a bit of a scary situation. However, there are two Marauder Hunters with Javelins. Oh, he needs to bring in that Feral Manticore. It looks like he may have forgotten about it, which would be pretty bad. The Manticore would actually be helpful against the Rotting Leviathan. So the black spot here is going to be taking some Javelins, Banshees, and Sirens, and all that spooky, scary, undead stuff is going to be going in here. And here we go. So the Crab is going to be surging forth, going to be pound-tounding some of these guys. And oh, just straight up crab slap right there. Beautiful stuff. And the Crabby, is he going to eat some of these guys? Oh, no, he didn't pick one up. So Raystorm going to be getting popped as well. Berserkers are fighting. Marauders are getting partially around the back, though. These Berserkers, there wasn't enough here for the Vampire Coast. They weren't able to get over there quick enough. And this is going to be bad for Rigson. The Marauder Berserkers are easily just going to chew through these guys incredibly quickly. So the Marauders getting into the back line, or the Berserkers, I should say. Marauder Berserkers, whatever. You guys get the picture. I think they're actually called Marauder Berserkers. It's going to be a quick kill here on these two units. Now, in the front line, the Vampire Coast is engaging. Their guns are going to be shooting, and the fight is underway. So the Halberds are going to be holding this tide back, but it feels like it's the guns for Vampire Coast aren't going to be generating that much value here. Shooting Berserkers is probably your best bet. But the Crab going over here is doing well. It's able to rout off some of these Berserkers. These Marauders are probably going to be running off the battlefield, and now this big angry Crab is going to be jumping on the Javelins. But this is not cost effective here for Rigson. Having the Crab chase these guys off means it's like not here in the center, and this main formation is going to get overwhelmed by the numbers. The Crab, I mean, you need to shut these guys down, but I don't think the Crab is the one to do it. So Sirens here are going to be fighting Wavering Marauders who might get pushed off. They might be able to win this flank. I think that the Vampire Coast might be able to eventually pull this one out, but the Berserkers, at least on this flank I'm saying, and the Berserkers are easily just going to kill these gunnery mobs and then go to these guys. It's a rough backline situation. The Carronade's unguarded as well. The Vampire Coast is having to pull forward a lot of its deckhand mobs and its other troops that push in here and hold, which means it's opening up its back line. Now the Feral Manticore is coming in here, and the other Feral Manticore is... I think he pulled it in somewhere. I just haven't seen it. Oh, here it is. So the Feral Manticore is going to be attacking the Crab, who does get Invocation of Nehek. Javelins are coming back in, but the Sirens are doing a very good job chasing a lot of these Norskins off the battlefield. But the Manticore is going to be going back here and attacking the Carronade, which is going to be good, because if it rampages, at least it's on top of the target it wants to kill. The Marauder Javelins are going to be falling back as well. The Vampire Coast Gunline and Bombs are starting to come into their own here in the fourth quarter. It looked really grim for them initially. Now they're starting to drop some good fire on these guys, but they're still just this ever-present thorn. These Marauder Berserkers who are, oh no, and they're on the black spot. They're going to be able to kill the black spot extremely efficiently, and the Manticore back here is also going to be killing the Carronade. Crab needs to get back here and clean up these Berserkers ASAP. So in the meantime, you can see that some of the Javelins are able to finish off the deckhand mobs on that part of the formation, and the Marauder Hunters with Javelins should be able to stabilize over here and get some good fire. Wulfric, I believe, is hiding in the forest, or at least dueling in the front lines. Yeah, he's fighting against the Zombie Pirate Gunnery mobs, or Halberd mobs, or the Polearm mobs. And the Manticore in the back actually is able to crumble the Carronade. So very, very good catch there for the Norskins. He's able to finish off the Carronade, which is good. The second Manticore is going to be attacking these guys, and the other Manticore is going to be rampaging into the gun. So there's going to be steady pressure on pretty much all the different gunnery mobs. And the bounce bar is actually pretty even. I mean, you always have to respect Noctilus plus the Crab, because he's going to be able to drop summons, use Invocation to heal up the Crab. And Javelin play is going to be super important. So we have Javelins are almost out of ammo here. Those ones are really beat up to the point of being non-effective. There's a couple more Javelins here that are in good shape. So I think Norska is going to have enough ammunition to kind of pepper down that Krabby Patty, especially if Wulfric is able to kind of deal with Noctilus. So the Manticores are actually doing really good. They're just sitting on the guns. They killed the cannon, and yeah, they're just giving pressure. And they're still, big, powerful monsters. They still have 445 weapon strength. Not the best AP, but still doing a good job. So those Berserkers are finally cleaned up, but not before they clean up a lot of shop. Only 52 kills, surprisingly. I feel like they killed a lot more than that, but maybe I'm looking at the wrong unit. Noctilus is going to be Tokyo drifting over here, going after these guys, dropping some summons to kind of stop the onslaught of the Norskin Javelins here. For Vampire Coast, it's going to be super important to actually keep the Crab alive. The Crab needs to live. If the Crab is able to live... Oh no, this is actually really bad for Wulfric. Wulfric needs to run. If Wulfric fights that Crab, that is not a good situation. He's not meant for fighting such things. His AP is a little bit too low. So Wulfric is going to get spanked by the Crab. This could actually cost Norska the game. Vampire Coast might be able to pull it out if Wulfric is left to fight that Crab. These Javelins need to be throwing in on that Crab. Wulfric needs to be kiting back to the help of his infantry, and otherwise he's going to be in a bit of a pickle. Noctilus is going to be fighting Marauders over here. This Manticore is free. I mean, yeah, if you get both Manticores, or at least this Manticore helping right here, that would be pretty big. I mean, Wulfric is going to try and fight the Crab, but you can see he's taking a lot of damage, and it looks like Raystorm is going to be going down from the sky. Yes, Raystorm is going to be cast, and it's going to do 2100 HP to 1800, so about 300 damage there, and 400 actually. Oof, that's brutal. Javelins thrown in there. Yeah, might as well get these Javelins in to help out. Wulfric is having a really, really hard time in this duel, and Noctilus is in good shape. That's the problem, and Sirens over here and also in good shape. It was looking pretty grim for Vampire Coast when those Berserkers got in the back line, but Riggson's kind of been really, really just determined here, and this Crab has just been an MVP. So the Krabby Patty's going to be holding, still just beating down Wulfric, and it looks like Noctilus is going to be coming back in. However, his summons will be disappearing. These summons are going to be disappearing, these ones are going to be disappearing. Norska does have some Javelins plus a Manticore, so it's certainly not over, but the fact that Wulfric is taking this unnecessary damage is... I think it's going to potentially cost him the game. So the Crab is doing a really, really good job. You can see here that Wulfric is going to break, and at this point, Vampire Coast should grab these Sirens and just chase Wulfric off the battlefield. There's no reason not to. It's actually a terror route, so he will come back. Yeah, so he's going to come back with the Crabs and the Sirens on him. It's going to be pretty rough. Fatal Manticore is going to be jumping in as well. We have Javelins coming back in from the far side. Norska has a lot of stuff left, and they got a lot of bodies for sure. And if the Manticores can stay alive, maybe there's going to be something going for him, but Noctilus is already really tough to kill. I mean, he's still a linebacker. Wulfric needs to try and run around and get back to his forces. I mean, he should be dueling Noctilus, but it's easier said than done because the Crab is a lot faster than him, so you can't quite get away with that initial engagement. He should have ran back probably. So here in the main fight, you have the Marauder Hunters with Javelins going in there pretty good, and you have the standard Marauders. Oh, thanks, baby. Lady Turin coming in with the T rescue here. Yeah, watch out. The cable's going to run. Yeah. No worries. So right here, you can see the Rotting Leviathan is going to be fighting against Wulfric. Still, Wulfric does have relatively good melee defense at 50, so he's got something to bring to the table here. And the Zombie Pirate Gunnery mobs are running from Berserker, so there is a chance that all of the Vampire Coast stuff except the Crab could die, but the Crab's actually taking a bit of damage here. Noctilus is just going to be such a thorn, though. He's going to be so tough to kill. He's got full HP. Noctilus has 60 melee defense. He is quite meaty. Yeah, you would think Wulfric would be immune to psychology, considering he has all 4 of the Chaos Gods literally whispering into his head. Like, you would think, like, he would be. He should be. I think Wulfric should be. That would be a nice change, actually. So anyways, the Javelins and company here are actually getting routed off. There's a lot of terror. The Sirens turning out to be a very, very good pick here. You can also see the Rotting Leviathan causes terror, so there's 2 big terror-causing units. Now, Norska may still have some Fireball play. The Familiar Balefiend... just shut the... Yeah, Lady Turin says goodbye in her classic sign out there as she leaves the room. Sorry about the noise there, guys. And the Marauder Berserkers are going to be continuing to fight. Goodness. And does he have ammo? Wulfric was able to get away, which is pretty big. Fireball could play a pretty big factor here if he can get some good fireballs on top of the Sirens, or maybe save up for a Flaming Sword of Ruin for like a big Alpha Strike, because the magic damage would kill the Sirens very quickly. Norska still has a chance. They have the double Manticore. It's going to be a really, really like a serious heavy finesse play here. Tying up Noctilus with like chaff or crappy infantry and then trying to Alpha Strike the Crab is the best bet, I think. Getting the 2 Manticores and Wulfric over here at this point and tying him up. Sirens are in good leadership. They still, not good leadership, but they're still stable is what I meant to say. They have 6 leadership, so those guys are going to be holding. This is a best of 5 series for some of you guys who are just joining. I saw a couple questions in chat. So the Crab's going to be going in, so rather than trying to finish off the Crab, he's going to be trying to finish off Noctilus with the double Manticore, which isn't a bad idea. Noctilus does have anti-large, though. He should be able to finish off this Feral Manticore, which is wavering already, and shattered now. So he is without that Manticore. Some Javelins still throwing in on the Crab. He's has pretty much no ammo left. Yeah, looks like he just ran out. The Familiar Balefiend is going to be dropping a fat fireball. Is he going to go for Noctilus is the question. And it looks like, well, pretty good contact. Makes a good hit. Also goes through some of the zombies here. So these zombies are crumbling. So, I mean, Norska could just wait for the zombies to crumble. It's not really a bad idea. And you can see here the players are saying something. They're saying, did I just see him just randomly say good luck, have fun towards the end of the game? That's pretty funny. So anyways, Wulfric the Wanderer is going to be jumping in on the Rotting Leviathan, I would imagine. And the Manticore should go in. This is like the last straw here. He's got to finish something big. Because otherwise, like, the rest of these Norskins could probably swamp Noctilus and just even though the bounce is in the favor of them, they could probably finish him off just through, like, sheer numbers and just grinding. Plus, the Familiar Bale... Oh, the Balefiend needs to get in there and fight, too. The Balefiend actually has really, really good AP, so he needs to get in there and, like, armor sunder this Rotting Leviathan as well. Sirens are coming back in. That's going to be a big factor, because the Marauders, of course, are going to be getting terror-routed by that. And the Crab's actually taking a bit of damage, 2,200 HP. Wulfric's going to be charging in. Noctilus is here, though, so Noctilus is going to be able to support the Crab. The Manticore is going to be pulling back, and Chief trying to get in there. Rigson is doing a very good job defending here. This is just such a... God damn, these games are so good today. This is nuts. This is nuts. And a big terror route going down. A lot of the Norskins are going to get pushed off. Sirens are also going to terror route. And yeah, it looks like Wulfric is broken as well. So the Norskins have buckled. I don't think they're going to be able to come back. A nice fireball right there, though. Does hit the count, but I mean, maybe just finishing off the Leviathan would be a better choice. He is weak to fire, too. Because I think you could maybe tar pit Noctilus and just finish him through grinding. And a couple of these brave gunnery mobs are going to come back shooting in the 4th quarter. And yeah, going to be dropping some heavy thunder right here on these guys. And the Sirens are actually crumbling. There's only 10 models left. Negative 50 leadership. Those Sirens are just done for. I mean, this is such a scrappy game. And look at that. Wulfric has come back somehow. The Rotting Leviathan, though, has way, way too much HP. And Army Losses is going to be hitting Norska. There's no way they could deal with Noctilus plus that Crab. And that is going to be a 1-1. That's going to be evening out the series. So beautiful play there. Coming in with the crab chair. The steel crab chair. I mean, at that point, he pretty much had to fight. So, Rigson is going to be taking that game in a very, very closely contested battle. Man, 1-1 in this best of 5 series. We're going to be moving on to the next game, and it seems like we have some very evenly matched players today, which is always a true sight to behold. Oh, yes. Ah, some good ass tea. It's really good. Man, what a battle.
You're welcome.
Thank you, darling. It's a herbal tea, right? Yeah. That's 1-1, and now we're on the Iron Sand Desert. We're going to see what the players pick. They may have a question. They're both saying, GG, well played, in a very, very close series there. And indeed it was. Steel crab chair, yes. Man, that was really good. Like, there was a couple minor things that either player could have won the game with. Like, it was really good. Yeah, Wulfric taking a beating from the Crab, I think, may have cost him the game. It certainly may have. So, at the very least, we have 2 more games. Hopefully, it goes to Game 5. That would be pretty amazing to cap this off. And we have a donation I did miss, so my apologies for missing that. Let me see here. One Man's Way says, here's an hour from work, bro. Hope it helps. Hey, thank you, man. It does help. It does help quite a bit. It does help quite a bit. Thank you so much for the donation, One Man's Way. That was a great game. That was a really good game. A fierce cockfight of the ages. And it looks like Chief is going to be playing Empire, man after our hearts. And he's going to be banning greenskins, which is good because Rigson is like a greenskin main, right? So getting rid of his trying to get the jump, right? And when it's tied up, you want to get ahead again. It puts the stress on your opponent. So that was a good tactical decision in terms of picks and bans. I think that was quite good. And Rigson is going to be picking. Oh, my floor is so creaky. My apologies, guys. Do it. Oh man. And Rigson is going to be picking Dark Elves. Okay, Empire vs Dark Elves is a really fun matchup. You get to see like Empire Knights and Reiksguard. Oh no, is he going for dwarves? Oh man. Chief might have screwed the pooch because dwarves have a super good matchup versus Empire. Oh man, the mind games. The mind games. No, it's going to be dwarves. It's going to be the battle of the good guys here. And Rigson had an army ready to go. He loads it, rock hard. It is go time. Oh man, I can see his army. You guys are going to love it. We're going to see if the Emperor protects or the Ancestor Gods protect today. In this finals here. I am the Senate. Dwarves versus Empire. Now that's a matchup that dwarves have always had an advantage in. Typically. It's a good one for the Dawi. Well, that flips, says Pipes. Yeah, it did. It did, man. All right. It is. It's going to be good. I don't know how Chief's going to deal with this. I mean, Empire can win. It's not unwinnable by any stretch of the imagination, but it's still a hard matchup, is what I'm saying. Like, even the most basic dwarf infantry are, like, so good against state troops. Just doing some hand stretches, guys. Bear with me as I'm a little bit less talkative here for a minute. I know, it's always sad when dwarves and Empire fight. It's like watching, like... It would be like watching the Ewoks fight against, like, the Rebellion in Star Wars. I'm doing really good. Thank you for asking. Slay anything without a beard? Well, Rubber Duck of War, a lot of the Empire state troops do have beards. Beards are like fairly common amongst the Empire, so. My Palpatine impression's okay. Tiamat64, not only do you sponsor the channel, but also drop in a fat donation. Thank you, man. Money for the state troops, full on chub for Sigmar. Yeah? And we got that's 421, bud. I'm sorry, that the way it was spelled kind of tripped me out, but thank you for sponsoring the channel, man. Hopefully you're enjoying the stream, and hopefully you're kicking back, relaxing, and enjoying yourself this fine afternoon. Getting you guys through your last hours of work, hopefully. Oh man, this is gonna be interesting. Yeah, the Empire have pretty good beards, so the thing is, you can't really use that expression, like, because they do have good beards. I suppose they're not proper compared to the dwarves. You see, and BB's taking a little bit of time here. He's got to really think this one out because it's a hard matchup. Oh, Mole Spaghetti. The stream has been going for 2 hours and 21 minutes. If I didn't have pan problems, I could stream for 4 to 6 hours every day, no problem. It's stamina's not a problem. It's just it's my hands that are a problem. Romulan Dog says, often this matchup will devolve into, does the steam tank live or die? 420 Bud is chilling, for sure. He is the most chill of dudes, and I appreciate him sponsoring the channel. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you. And now you have a Squig avatar. And also, if you do sponsor the channel, when you comment on videos as well, people can now see the avatars and stuff. So I'm going to be adding new ones. I think... Currently, let me go look, actually. I'm a little bit curious. So it's basically the same as Twitch. Like, you can have, like, subscribers or whatever. So, go to here. I'm just checking on the laptop to see what the rewards are. One Man's Way, thank you for sponsoring the channel as well. Now you, too, have access to the glorious emojis and the squig. And also, it'll show in the comments, too, when you do that. The fire rises. One Man's Way, man. You've been around forever as well. So, yeah, the loyalty badges. Let me see here. So yeah, when you first start, you get a Squig. After 1 month, you get Kellogg Sun Eater. 2 months, you get Wurzog. After 6 months, you get the Skink Priest. And after 1 year, you get Jabba the Hutt. And I still have to figure out who's going to be the 2 year. It'll probably be like a dwarf, I think. Because the dwarves are all about that longevity, right? Now, I have pretty good cardio, for sure. Even when I'm out of shape, I could still run miles pretty easily. Even though I'm a sprinter. I don't like running miles, but I could. But yeah, my gimp hands are my problem, unfortunately. All right, so Palpatine, thank you for your service. We're here with game 3. I don't know if we're going to see a meme tank. I really don't know. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Empire Army first. So in the front line, it's going to be a combination of greatswords and state troops. Swordsmen are going to be taking the beating for Sigmar. Greatswords will potentially be punching through. It's actually just one greatsword. He does have a couple silver bullets and the handgunners as well. Those guys going to be dropping some AP fire. Granted, the dwarf guns can really out-trade them, so it's hard for them, but the silver bullets are nice because they have stock. Granted, they do magic damage too, so it's a bit of a double-edged sword. Now, it looks like it's going to be a cannon battle, so instead of trying to crack the dwarf shell, he's going to be trying to out-trade them cannon-wise. So he has 3 great cannons himself. He does have Balthazar Gelt, Pimp Daddy Gelt, on foot, coming in with the chair. Well, he doesn't really have a chair. He's got the gold chair, yes. And he has the Plague of Rust, which is going to help state troops fight, plus the Glittering Robes. He also has a Witch Hunter, who is quite good because he does lower armor with Accusation. The double Witch Hunter, as much of a meme as it was, is really good against the dwarves. It can lower their armor, melee defense, and missile resist, so it has some really good synergies here. So the double Witch Hunter pick is amazing. No Empire Cav. He's not going to be trying to pressure the dwarves. He's going to be trying to out-cannon them, which is good. And you notice how he's spreading his cannons out across the entire map. That is a very, very solid choice. All right, so we got, for the dwarves, we got a couple of the Thunders. We do also have Rangers. Thunders are just great. I mean, good against greatswords. They can trade against enemy handgunners well. They're shielded. They're just a solid pick. We got Belagar Ironhammer, who some people do pick because he's basically like a dwarf lord, but just better. And he doesn't cost that much more. So Belagar Ironhammer coming in, just stripped down, ready to party. And we do also have dwarf warriors in the back. We have Thunders, and it looks like it's going to be bolt throwers, and a dwarf cannon. So yeah. It's gonna be interesting. Looks like Rigson and his dwarves are going to be taking up a defensive position, but little do they know that the Empire is doing the same thing. So the Great Cannons have 450 range for the Empire, and for the dwarves they have 440. So the Empire Great Cannons actually have better range, which is interesting. Wow, I did not know that. So they should be able to outtrade this. So it's 1 dwarf cannon and 2 dwarf cannons and 2 bolt throwers. So the Empire might be able to actually outtrade this. So we got Babel Triumphant. Love the streams. Keep it up with the $5. Well, hey, man. Glad to be of service. Hopefully you're enjoying the streams. More to come, too. I'm going to be trying to stream more often. More tournament stuff. And Rado Kos with the membership. So thank you for sponsoring the channel, man. Much appreciated. You guys are going in balls deep today, and I really do appreciate it. I love these streams. Competitive streams are like the best thing ever. Like campaign streams are fun and all, but this is where the heart of the community lies, in my opinion. This is it. So this is going to be really interesting. Look at this formation. This is like the Mighty Ducks coming in with the Flying V. I don't really know what this is. He's got spearmen, witch hunters. The witch hunters can't get too close, but man, I feel like, oh man, if the Empire had brought 1 more great cannon. Oh, they have 4 actually. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a war of attrition. The dwarves are 100% gonna be most likely, well, 80%. There's still some RNG. The dwarves should be forced out of their shell. They're gonna be forced out of their shell. This is going to be really interesting. Dawi cannons are more accurate. Interesting stuff. One Man's Way says, can you make a wooden shelf loyalty badge? A wooden wood elves? Shoot me a message on Discord and let me know what you mean for the loyalty badge. A wood shelf? It's just like a wooden shelf with a wood elf's head on it? Oh my god. All right, so the battle's underway. We're going to see what happens. There's 4 Empire Great Cannons against 2 Dwarf Great Cannons, or 2 Dwarven Cannons, plus 2 Bolt Throwers. No Master Engineer. This is very much going to be a game of cat and mouse here. The Dwarf Artillery crews are going to be scooting forward. But if they scoot too far forward, the Empire should probably just send the Witch Hunters up there. Balthazar Gelt, there's no healing, so any damage taken on the Witch Hunters is going to be pertinent. Man. There's rocks falling. Oh, there's rocks falling on the dwarves. That would be really funny if it actually like hit them and like crushed them. Oh my god. We are natural sprinters, but the Empire Great Cannons are going to envelop pretty good. So what you want to do here is probably just snipe the Dwarven Great Cannons out because they have range. The Bolt Throwers have short range, So they're going to have to like scoot. The cannons will be in range soon, but the bolt throwers are going to have to like get up here to reach. So you just want to get 2 cannons on each of the dwarf cannons, and then scoot up your spearmen and other troops to threaten the bolt throwers so they don't shoot. You have to force the dwarves out of their shell here, like 100%. And I mean, you can see Rigson's already scooting up. So like both players are realizing like, yeah, we can't do what we want to do here. We're going to have to scoot up and treat ourselves. So the cannons are underway. Pretty good contact right there onto the first of the dwarven cannons. The Empire cannons shooting downtown, but the dwarves are going to respond in kind. And like some of you kind gentlemen in chat were able to articulate, the dwarven cannons are a little bit more accurate. Of course, they're more engineer focused than the men of the Empire, I'm sure. And it looks like the Empire Great Cannon's actually having a couple problems here. But the dwarf cannons are taking some work back. Bolt thrower is overextending a little bit, but honestly, just scoot up and maybe pressure those things. But yeah, the dwarven infantry line, this is just so hard for the Empire. The Witch Hunters are going to be MVPs too. The Witch Hunters are really, really good. They have like heavy armor-piercing shots, and they kind of go through things, which is very efficient. So yeah, here comes the Bolt Throwers. Bolt Throwers still not in range, showing how short their range is. But the Empire State Troops should start pressuring. Ooh, the cannons actually tearing into some of the Rangers as well. So we have 3 cannons here, and we have these cannons are online as well. Honestly, maybe now that the dwarves are committing to the fight, and you've gotten them out of their rat's nest here, I think just shooting with the cannons into the infantry and the thunders is going to be more cost efficient. So this cannon crew has taken some casualties. This one has taken infantry casualties, but they still have all their models. And it looks like the Dwarven Rangers are going to be shooting into the state troops now. So the main fighting is about to be underway. The silver bullets are discovered, so they're out of their shell. And the Dwarven guns are also going to be shooting back. So this is going to be a little bit tough. The Witch Hunter is going to be taking some volleys, and the silver bullets are going to be returning in kind. They do hit pretty hard, so despite the magic damage, it's still not bad. Witch Hunter is going to be cutting back, and yeah, the cannons look to still be shooting against the dwarf cannons. They did take out one of the cannons here, so one of the dwarf cannons is offline. So the Empire cannons are in really good shape across the board, with the exception of this one. So the artillery duel is going in the favor of the Empire right now, despite the fact that one of them speed up. They've done more damage across the board. Now these spearmen are taking a beating for Sigmar for sure. This Witch Hunter is going to be having to hold here. And I wonder why he's in this like strange like linear formation like this. Oh, he's going to be pulling back now, or not pulling back, but routing off here. And the cannon's shooting in. Oh, and the bolter is actually taking some damage. Some of the spearmen are going to be going forth. This Witch Hunter is going to be getting Last Samurai pretty good. I'm not sure why he's sending this guy in so early against the Thunders. Maybe he's going to drop Accusation to try and help out. And does he have Sigmar Sons? No, those are actually just swordsmen. So there are some angry Slayers coming in, but I do not know what Chief is doing with this Witch Hunter. That's basically just giving it to the dwarves for free. Unfortunate stuff. Anyways, on the other side of the battlefield, this Witch Hunter is going to be shooting as well. He has a better line of sight. He's going to be able to happily shoot into those dwarves. He is taking some bolt thrower fire, which is pretty funny. And the dwarven cannons are down to 1 cannon here, which honestly I think you just leave alone at this point and focus down the other one. And that Witch Hunter is just routing off, which is just really, really unfortunate. This is not the last game. It's a best of 5 in this series. So it's impossible for it to be the last game since it's tied. So the Dragonback Slayers are chasing down the silver bullets, which is... the dwarves shouldn't be able to get into your back line like this. The greatswords can actually do very well against the Dragonback Slayers, but it looks like these dwarves are going to actually kill the silver bullets. Plus, he's also going to lose the great cannon. So an absolute disaster for the Empire in the back line, which is not something you hear often in this matchup. Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. So, anyways, the greatswords are going to be charging in. Man, honestly, at this point, I think you just turn and fight with the silver bullets and just hope the greatswords can catch up and help. It looks like the dwarves are going to be able to relatively easily take this battle here. Rigson is just kind of pounding out the front line, and you can see that the dwarf pick into the Empire is pretty rough. The other Witch Hunters getting taken out by the bolt throwers. The dwarven gun lines in the back are just happily... They're drinking Bugman's brew in one hand. The other hand is going to be shooting with the cannons. They don't need 2 hands in this matchup here. They're just going to be shooting, and the state troop line is buckling. There actually was 2 greatswords, so I did miss the second one. And here you can see the silver bullets. Really unfortunate stuff. Getting chased off by the Dragonback Slayers. And they can actually outmaneuver the greatswords. Greatswords only have 28 speed, so you can see here that he's really trying to run. Chief is trying to get away, but the Slayers have a slow. Dragonback Slayers put them down to 22 speed, which is pretty rough. So back in the main fight, the state troops are fighting, but dwarf warriors and longbeards will make quick work of swordsmen and spearmen. The greatswords are one of the stronger picks here. I mean, they're obviously going to be able to beat dwarf warriors, and it's one of the saving graces. The Empire cannons are still online. Balthazar Gelt still dropping his magic support. He's been incrementally using Plague of Rust and other effects to help out. And the cannons are killing the bolt throwers. I mean, the bolt throwers are down. The dwarf cannons are pretty much all offline with the exception of this one. So, I mean, the Empire still does have its artillery, which means it does have a chance of getting back in the game. But these Dragonback Slayers are just such pimps. Doing such a good job. They're able to get into the Empire backline somehow. And now they're just causing massive problems, just cleaving these handgunners apart. And the greatswords are having a lot of trouble keeping up. And these dwarves are like, screw this shit. We don't need to fight you guys. We're faster. We're going to embarrass you with our natural sprinting legs. Oh, God, this is such a disaster for Chief here. These Slayers just cleaving the back line asunder. They're just going to kill this cannon, then they're going to kill this cannon, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing the Empire can do about it. So it is time. Dwarves are going to be cleaning up this fight here. The guns are shooting downtown here. You can see the greatswords are doing a good job in some respects, but it seems like, I mean, honestly, had the dwarves not infiltrated the back line with the, who would have ever thought dwarves infiltrating the back line? Had they not infiltrated the back line, killed those guns, and now they're going to get all these cannons for free, plus the sacrifice to the witch hunter for no reason, I think the Empire would be in okay shape and it would be a very close game. But in this situation, I think the dwarves are slowly just going to whittle them down. Belegar is just going to be able to beat down the witch hunters plus Balthazar Gelt pretty easily. There's not much stopping power. Those slayers are just running shop in the back line. Running shop. So spearmen are fighting here on top of the cannon. We have some Empire swordsmen who are going to be fighting at the bolt throwers. That's a good catch. At the very least, maybe they'll shut down these cannons here. And the bounce power is only a little bit in the favor of the dwarves. Let me have a bit of tea here. Oh yes, this is going to be good. Misha says Slayers, the true chariots of Total War. I mean, apparently so. They're more like a cav unit. I mean, they're back here just cleaning up shop. Man, they've done so much devastating damage. That cannon was full health. The silver bullets were full health. Those would have been game-changing units to still have in this fight right now. And you can see the dwarves are slowly just kind of cleaning up the Empire pressure here. We do have some handgunners here on the far side. A witch hunter is still alive here. Balthazar Gelt's still alive. The Empire does have one great cannon here, but the fact that the other great cannons went offline means that those great cannons are like less supported. So, yeah, I don't know. Those Dawi are just zooming around the battlefield. Yes, they're getting around the back line. You know, no, it's still Slayer-like. The Slayers are, you know... Yeah, when you read the book, the Masters of Oath, Stone and Steel, which is the Dwarf Omnibus from Warhammer Fantasy, from Games Workshop, from the book series, it's kind of like... So basically, there's a huge battle between a Chaos Army. So there's a Chaos Army invading... They're like coming through the pass. So the Chaos Army is actually coming through the mountain pass. Oh, the Greatswords might actually catch these guys here, so we do have a bit of a fight. And this would actually be really good if the Greatswords killed them all, for the sake of the Empire. But the Chaos Army is teamed up with the Chaos Dwarves. I believe it's during the invasion of Azavar Kul, who was ever chosen before Archaon. They're coming through the mountain pass, right? So basically, Ungrim Ironfist leads the dwarves of Karak Kadrin, and he basically calls to arms the dwarves of Zufbar, who come. So King Barrendon comes. So it's like two dwarven armies versus a Chaos Army and a Chaos Dwarf Army. And basically, like, the way they use the Slayers in that battle is so ridiculous. Like, the Chaos sends their Vanguard out. They send out, like, the Haggard Marauders to charge. And the Dwarves, instead of, like, keeping the Slayers in reserves, they're like, send out the Slayers. So they send the Slayers out, like, before the fighting, like, just to go out and just, like, die brutally. Like, it's pretty gnarly in that battle. But, yeah, it's a cool battle scene, for sure. The Dwarven cannons are, like, shooting the Chaos Dwarf monstrosities, and it's really, really neat. So... Anyways, guys, the battle is still looking pretty heavily in the favor of the dwarves. Their cannons are going to be coming back online. The greatswords are able to catch the Slayers over here, but the Dragonback Slayers are just like, screw this shit. Let's go get some more value. So they're just going to be hoofing it, and the greatswords are not going to be able to catch them. And Balthazar Gelt better watch his booty, because those Slayers are coming in pretty hot. Yeah. Now, the greatswords would win that fight, especially with the Glittering Robe being cast in them, because Slayers don't have good AP. So the Dwarf Army still doing well, just kind of this inexorable advance on the forces of the Empire. The swordsmen here are a little bit tattered up. Handgunners are going to get a couple decent volleys into these Thunders, but Thunders have shields, handgunners don't. So the handgunners are going to be taking a lot of fire back. There's Rangers, there's bolt throwers that are still somewhat operational. No, it looks like they're actually not. I just don't think there's anything the Empire can do. Yeah. Those great swords chasing Slayers, the cops from Superbad. Did you catch that kid? No, he's the fastest kid alive. Yeah, those Slayers are really fast. So... Oh, Deadeye will get him! Yeah, the Masters of Stone and Steel is a really good omnibus. If you're a dwarf fan, you'll just have like a chub the whole time. It's so good. Like the first book I read was the Grudge Bearer, which it follows the High King of Zufbar, who's King Barrendon, and he's just such a badass. Zufbar, of course, known for its engineers, and it has cameos from Grombrindle. So it's one of the main stories in which you get Grombrindle's story. So Grombrindle's really badass. He's so badass. Oh god, he's such a pimp. In the stories, Grombrindle just is like all like rugged. Like he shows up to the dwarves when they're like about to have a battle, and like he doesn't tell the dwarves who he is, and he's just kind of disguised as like an old peddler or craftsman, and he just like shows up and tries to give him like tips and help, and then they're like, "Be gone, peasant, you filthy," like, you know. And so Grombrindle like disappears all pissed off, and obviously bad shit happens to the dwarves because they didn't listen to Grombrindle's, you know, wisdom. But then he always comes back like at the end of the battle just with his rune axe and just is like yelling all the oaths of vengeance as he's like cleaving the greenskins and shit. Oh, he's so cool. Anyways, Belegar and company are going to be advancing here. You can see the handgunners still online. The witch hunter's kiting relatively efficiently, but the Empire is going to get socked with army losses here in a matter of seconds. So I don't think there's going to be anything they can do. The Dwarven Wall and Belegar Ironhammer still in good shape. You actually get to meet Belegar Ironhammer in the Gotrek and Felix too, because Gotrek and Felix, one of their first quests is actually going to Carrick A Peaks. So Belagar Ironhammer's there, hanging out. Yes. The Slayers saw the Sonic trailer and decided to be better. Oh man, what a game though! The Dwarves, I mean, honestly, the Empire had a chance. It was just a couple misplays costing the game. Letting the cannons get compromised in the back line and sacrificing the Witch Hunter was a huge loss. But aside from that, it was a close, grindy battle, but nonetheless, Rigson earned that one. He came in with Belagar and did good. A really good counterpicking against the Empire, who should pretty much always ban the Dwarves, in my opinion. Yeah, that's that. Belagar Ironhammer too strong. Confirmed. Look at GG. He's like, oh man, GG. So now we're going to be on Eschen. Rigson is up a game. If Rigson wins this, he's going to be qualifying for the Eternal Challenger League Grand Finals with his steady, methodical gunline play. Oh man. So in the game Chaos Bane, you play a Dwarven Slayer. I don't think he's like super famous. I haven't played through the entire... I'm going to be doing a Chaos Bane stream soon with my lovely wife, so that'll be happening. Yeah, the Mohawks... Dyeing the Mohawks is like a Dwarven tradition. I'm not sure why they do it. They use like animal fat that like smells really bad, apparently. It's pretty funny. Like in the Gotrek and Felix books, you have a... Like, it's very common that in the beginning when like Felix and Gotrek are first questing, like he's constantly commenting on how bad the Slayer smells because he uses his like fat to like gel up his Mohawk. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah. So, six kills on the Witch Hunter. What a magic damage boss. Yeah. Witch Hunters are still good, I think, in this matchup, despite the magic damage. But yeah, they obviously couldn't get in good position. And so Rigson's going to pick Greenskins, and he's going to ban Coast. He can't remember if he banned Coast earlier. We can scroll up and check. I'm going to be double checking. So Coast and bans Dwarves. I think he's good. You're good. That was earlier today. Yeah, he banned Coast in the earlier matchups, but not in this one, so he's okay. So we're going to get Greenskins again. A lot of Greenskins coming in today. Man, thank you guys so much for joining and sponsoring. And man, you guys have been super generous today. I know we got a lot of new channel sponsors and some very nice donations. So guys, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hopefully you enjoy the ECL. We're keeping the Warhammer community chugging along. We will see. Yeah, the Gotrek and Felix books, like if you know nothing about Warhammer and fantasy and you just want to learn like the basics, the Gotrek and Felix books are the best. They're so good. So Coast, the only reason it seems like Coast is banned a lot today is because there's a Greenskin main who's been in every game pretty much, and Coast is very good against Greenskins typically. So that's one of the reasons why you've been seeing that a lot today. So One Man's Way, Vampire Coast lost earlier. They lost earlier on the stream, I think. And they've also... I lose with Vampire Coast on my channel quite often. I have quite a few games where I've lost with Vampire Coast. I know. Warhammer 3. God, I want it. Just give it to me now. Just give me this... I hope there's like just badass Chaos monsters. I just want to play a Nurgle Chaos army. Like... Oh god, Nurgle warriors with like... Just like Cloud of Flies on them and like... God, that'd be so cool. And poison. So Technozon says, Turin, just wanted to say I really been digging all your content for a while now. Total War Warcraft 3 has been awesome. I'm psyched for Chaos Bane. Cheers, man. Yeah, Chaos Bane will be early next week. Yes. Coast are pretty strong. Coast do have a couple harder matchups. Coast versus the elf factions is a little bit tricky. Like playing against like high elves and wood elves, and I always felt those are harder matchups. Because the archers really wreck the Vampire Coast gun line. What is dead cannot die. So they're probably asking. So we have Empire versus Greenskins. You're too good. You're good. That was earlier. All right, 1 minute, please. And it looks like, no, he's going to be, I think he just played Empire. So typically we have players play different races in every game. So he's going to be playing Wood Elves. So it's going to be his Wood Elves facing off against Rigson's green skins. Bringing in some of that hardwood. Palpatine is still blocking and cackling, which is great. Everything is good in the realm. All right. This has been a fun stream, guys. This has been a good one. Valnir says, Turin, do you think elite infantry need a buff in Warhammer 3? No, I don't think so. I think elite infantry are fine. I think like they can catch people off guard for sure. Going wide is like a little bit safer, but yeah, I think elite infantry are fine. I don't think they need buffs. They could be a little bit too oppressive, I think, if they got buffed. This channel focuses mainly on multiplayer matchups, some guy, but I do campaigns as well. Not as often, but occasionally I do them. Yeah, Pone. I mean, yeah, Vampire Coast, if you're like good at them, they can counter the Elvish factions pretty well, but you just need to know. Yeah, Bloodletters, I'm sure will be in, I bet you they'll be in Warhammer 3. You'll probably have like each Chaos Army will have like its basic demons, so you'll have, for Nurgle, you'll have Nurglings, which will just be like a peasant mob type unit. That's like fast, and they have like a little annoying debuff, I'm sure. You'll probably have Plague Bearers, you'll have Beasts of Nurgle, you'll have a Great Unclean One, which will be like a Kolek type character. It'll be like big, expensive. You'll probably have Plague Drones. So the Nurgle Demon Army will get Plague Drones, which will be like cav units for Nurgle Demons. They'll be like flying and will be mounted by Nurgle Warriors. For Khorne, you'll get the Bloodletters, you'll get the Bloodhounds, you'll get the Skull Crushers. It's going to be really neat. You know, Dwarven Elite Infantry are niche, but they can surprise people sometimes. Yeah. Oh. All right. And here we are, my friends. Rigson up 2-1. Chief on the ropes. If Rigson wins this, it is all she wrote. It'll be game blouses. So let's see what he brings in here. So Rigson, he's going to be going with his Greenskins, his main faction. And one of my favorite things when I play Greenskins to use against Wood Elves are Doomdiver Catapults. They're incredibly underrated. And these bad boys can actually get in there and track down a lot of the archers and lightly armored targets. He does also have Azag up in the skies with the Spirit Leech. He's got Black Orcs, Goblins across the entire front line. Black Orcs a little bit overkill, I think, against Wood Elves, but they're still tough to kill and immune to Psych. He does have Goblins and some Biggins, or boys in the middle, and an Arachnarok Spider. So he's going for an army that's like seems very heavily designed for killing like big stuff, like big armored targets. Which, if the Wood Elves go for a Blitz build and don't play the Archer game, this is going to be a mean army. On top of that, he has Orc Airboys, just Archers, yeah, Orc Airboys and the Rusty Arrows. So a very interesting Greenskin army, taking a very defensive position here, using the Doomdiver Catapults. Granted, the Wood Elves have plenty of room to like get around the back and everything, so... But yeah, playing it, trying to get the maximum value out of those Doomdiver Catapults. Wood Elves can Vanguard if they want to, so... Yeah, interesting stuff. For the Wood Elves, for the hard wood, it's going to be a bunch of Eternal Guard here in the front line, which, you know, they're okay. And an Ancient Tree Man, so the fact that there's an Arachnarok Spider is going to be quite nice. This guy does have healing, and normally Greenskins would struggle with that thing, but the fact that they have the Archers plus the Spider, I think they're going to be in okay shape. On top of that, we got Dryads in the secondary line. We do also have Wild Riders here. Wild Riders very, very good against Greenskins. They can just run down the infantry, smash goblins. They hit incredibly hard against light armor. And up here on the hills, we got more Wild Riders, more Dryads, and that's it. No archers, interestingly enough. I was expecting to see a couple archers, but alas, today is not the day. But yeah, so for Warhammer Demons, Tzeentch would have some cool ones. They would probably have Zongors and the Flamers, and then also have the Chariots, the Tzeentch Chariots. Those things are pretty neat. Slaanesh will have Demonettes. They'll probably have a Keeper of Secrets. They'll have I don't know whatever their other big signature demons are. They'll have, like, of course, their own variants of Chaos Spawn. I bet you all the armies will have, like, their own Chaos Spawn as well. Like, the Nurgle Chaos Spawn will be different than the Khorne ones. That would actually be really, really cool. Hopefully they do that. And the battle's underway. Doomdiver Catapults are, you know, a surprising pick. A lot of Wood Elf players are like, holy shit, there's artillery from the Greenskins. And it's going to be pulling in the Wood Elf army. The Wood Elves are going to have to advance. And to answer your question in chat, David, it is 12,400 gold, which is the standard for ladder as well as competitive play. So that's going to be the standard junk there. So here come the Wood Elf forces. They're going to be advancing. Doomdivers are probably... Oh, there actually are some archers. We have some Way Watchers here, which I did not notice. He only has one Way Watcher, but that one group of Way Watchers could make all the difference. Having that heavy AP missile attack on top of the Arachnarok Spider is going to be incredibly clutch. Because he doesn't have too much against the Spider. I mean, Eternal Guards are decent, I guess. And the Tree Man has good AP, but Azag's coming for blood. He is coming for blood. So we're going to see how this goes. Azag flying forward. Way Watchers are still hidden, of course, but they probably are going to be able to unleash a volley here. I was actually expecting more of an archer build here, just like going with a bunch of archers. But greenskins can swarm your archers, so I understand that. And I think that Rigson, for a lot of his builds, he really subverts people's expectations by bringing these very different builds. So a first volley coming in. Ooh, that's some good contact. Azag gets hit. Oh, no, it wasn't actually. That looked like they all hit him, but it looks like he may have juked that at the last second. So very quick reaction from the Australian Rigson here. And he's going to be going out to the flanks looking for any freebies. Maybe going to be attacking the Ancient Tree Man. Although landing here is a little bit risky for sure. Now, some Wild Riders have been left in the back. Doomdiver catapults should be in range in just a moment. And Azag's going to be, dropping a fat Spirit Leech. And might as well get those Wild Riders. I mean, he could argue there's a case to be made for using them on the Deepwood Scouts. Or the, not Deepwood Scouts, but the Ancient Tree Man. But, I mean, killing the Wild Riders is always good. The Arachnarch Spider is going to be a huge, huge strength here. This guy's going to be a beast. So the battle is moseying along. Wood Elves do have a bit of a journey. The Greenskins, it's not often you see the Greenskins being the defensive missile faction, but in this case they are going to be in that case. And the Wood Elves are going to be assuming the roles of the Greenskins here, being the ones who have to pressure and Zerg. And there's going to be a Spider Summon. Now the reason why he's doing this, it might seem like a little bit strange, is because it's going to slow the Wood Elf advance and allow his Doomdivers to do more damage. Now Doomdiver catapults are shooting into Dryads. They've only taken out 2 models with 2 Goblins so far, so not the most cost-effective situation so far, but nonetheless they're going to get some value. Wester, I actually haven't read Demon Slayer yet, so I have to read Demon Slayer. That's the one I'm on. I've read the first 2 books, Skaven Slayer and Troll Slayer. They're awesome. So here we go. The Spider is going to be fighting, mulching on some of the Dryads. Another Spirit Leech going down, so very good focus here from Rigson, making sure to focus on one unit to make sure he can finish them off. Spider needs to be careful though. I mean, it's still amongst spears, and some of the Spiderlings are going to be breaking there. Some units are no longer unbreakable like they were in the past. And here, I mean, Rigson's doing some really good harass. He's just kind of getting in there with Azag and the Spider and just kind of trundling through these forces and really forcing a bit of a messy situation here for the Wood Elves. Granted, the Wild Riders, if they can actually pin down the Spider and the Ancient Tree Man could start clubbing them, Way Watchers are going to be really good here. They're going to be super solid against the Queen. So the Queen probably wants to fall back. Ooh, and a nice frontline charge coming in from Chief. Beautiful stuff. He's going to be hammering into those Goblins, which is like the ideal situation. So just hammering Goblins and Orc Boys and lightly armored troops. Now the main fighting is going to be underway, but a lot of Greenskin Archer Fire is coming in and doing a fair amount of damage against those Wild Riders here. And these Wild Riders are actually going to be just in pursuit of the Arachnarch Queen, and the Ancient Tree Man's going to be getting in, but it looks like he's going to be dropping a Spiderling Summon. Oh, this is not good. The Queen's actually a little bit pinned down. So the Wild Riders have good leadership. Wood Elves in general have pretty good leadership, so the Arachnarch Queen's pinned down. Now, if these Way Watchers can just sit and shoot to their heart's content on top of that Spider, that is going to be good. I do not know why they're not shooting yet. They need to get in there and go balls deep. So the Wild Riders are just surging into the back line, just pressuring in, getting into the Rusty Errors. A lot of pressure coming in, but there are Black Orcs and troops in reserve. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Wood Elves might be able to just kind of overwhelm this position a little bit. The Goblins in the front, of course, are crumbling, and the Wood Elves are just swarming all over this Arachnarch Spider here. Spearmen are coming in. Way Watchers are finally shooting. So they're going to shoot in. Oh, look at that damage. So much damage. And the Wood Elves, the Wood Tide, we'll call it the Wood Tide for today, are, doing some good work. Some of these Wild Riders do break off. Azag and the Black Orcs are going to form a bit of a problem. Dryads have terrible AP. Wild Riders have terrible AP. So the double Black Orc here is going to be a little bit of a problem. They are able to win their respective fights. But if the Wood Elves can kind of just crump all over the back line, kill the Archers, as well as the Doomdiver catapults, they'll be in good shape. So in the back, well, this spells disaster for the Greenskins. The Arachnarch Queen is taken out here. You can see that it's going to be gone. I mean, 100%. Just finish it off, chase it off the battlefield, make sure that thing does not come back, because that thing is most certainly a breadwinner. So the Dryads are going to be pushing up the hill here. We got Dryads here, Dryads here. I mean, just through sheer numbers, they might be able to wear down the Black Orcs. And the back line is about to be compromised. These Dryads are just going to be swooping up the hill. There's no Greenskin defenses here. Yeah, you just have like Archers mostly. So it looks like this is going to be a rather quick game for the Wood Elves. Even though the Greenskin build was quite solid, I think losing the Arachnarch Queen that early like that, if it were like back here helping defend, it could be a terror, right? There would be terror, all kinds of pressure coming on. But again, Eternal Guard are like so tough to terror out. Those guys are really breaky. So the Wood Tide, which I still is technically green, is going to be pushing in. A very nice Earthblood going down here is going to be helping in the fight against the Black Orcs. And now the Wild Riders are going to be trying to chase down the Queen. However, Azag is on the hunt. If Azag can push off the Wild Riders and the Queen can come back and get a couple Spiderling summons, that would actually be quite nice. But the Wood Elves have a lot of stuff. And you can see the Greenskins, the issue with deploying this far back is it's very easy to route off the edge of the map. So the Wood Elves are going to be chasing off a lot of this stuff off the map here, which is going to be pretty good for them. And the Eternal Guard, Wild Riders, and the Ancient Tree Man going to be coming in. These Goblins are, they're not going to have a good time. They are going to get taken out by this giant violet purple tree here. I know, it's confusing. So this tree just looks pissed off. He's like, you know what? You guys need to kill these goblins faster. Let's give you some motivation, and I will whack you with my cane, which is always funny. Azag on the edge of the map actually engages the Wild Riders, and he's actually taking a bit of damage from these guys. Looks like he does drop a Spirit Leech, but some Orc boys are going to be helping, so he should be able to win that fight, but still taking a lot of damage. But yeah, that's looking pretty over. The Black Orcs are holding well and doing well in regards to their kills, but they're just... The Ancient Tree Man has good enough AP to finish off Black Orcs, so he's going to be getting that charge into the back here, and just pimp slapping some of those guys with his tree branches, which is great. Ancient Tree Man is pretty awesome. Oh yeah. A tide of unstoppable wood. How intriguing. Yes, indeed, my friend. So yeah, we got it. That's looking like the Wood Elves are going to take that. And guys, we are going to Game 5 in Eternal Challenger League Qualifier number 6. What a day it's been. What a journey. Hopefully you guys in Europe are able to kind of stay awake and finish this journey with us. I know it's late, but we're almost there, and this has been a great series. So Azag going to be pulling up, dropping another Spirit Leech on the Waywatchers, who actually turned out to be very clutch this game. Killing the spiders very, very quickly. And here they come. Azag's going to be flying through the skies. And the Elves are just going to win through numbers. I mean, Black Orcs are coming back in, but it's just a couple seconds away from army losses. Any sort of rear charge will just tank this army. Yeah, and the Ancient Tree Man's just going to be stomping those guys. I think it's time to take a sip of tea and enjoy myself. What a match. Ace match. I know, we're going to the finals. Feel the fearsome fury of the forest's flora and fauna. Yeah, that's true. Ravens, your warriors flee! As the Greenskins run to the hills. The Wood Tide coming in, dropping some hard wood. The counter picks have won so far, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, perhaps a 2-ban rule. We could do that for next season. But again, we're going to keep it the same for this one. But I mean, honestly, though, like, Wood Elves and Greenskins isn't that bad. I don't think it has to do so much with the counter pick. I think both factions can win that. Really. I mean, the only one counter pick that was really brutal today was the Empire and Dwarves, I think. Other than that, like, all the matches were winnable. It just happened to turn out that way. Yeah, my 2 cents. So, this is it. This is Game 5. Chief pulling it back with the hard wood. And we're going to see what happens here in this final game. Oh, we got to get Palpatine before we go back. Yes, unlimited power. So, we're on the final map, guys. This is it. This is for all the marbles. No, blind pick would be silly. Because that can just lead to, like, at least with the pick and ban, you get to have some sort of counterplay. I mean, that's a good... I think either faction can win that one. Really. It's going to be on Troll Country, so this is a close quarters map. There's only a couple matchups in the game that are really bad nowadays, in my opinion. Yeah, there's a couple. But, like, you can usually ban around them, even with just one ban, so... Oh, yeah. What was it? Was I sad about the Vermin Lords? No, I'm sure that'll be something we'll get someday. So, we're going to see what happens here. Alright, last pick for me. So unlucky. And Rickson says, not really. We've won most of our first picks. Yeah, that's true. Oh, man. This is intense. This is intense, guys. The final picks and bans. I use OBS to stream and record. I know, elves outnumbering the Wa. Certainly strange. So, Chief is going to be taking a moment to pick here. Well, some bad matchups are Empire versus Dwarves. Typically, Vampire counts and Vampiric factions have good matchups versus Greenskins and like Beastmen and stuff like that. So, those are some of the main ones. Chaos versus Vampire counts was very bad historically. It's gotten better, but those are some of the ones I can think of off the top of my head. So, yeah, it's good. This is good. Troll Country is a really small map. It's a really small map, so I think we're gonna see like pretty close quarters builds here. Like they can't like play artillery builds really that effectively because the value you're gonna get from your arty is gonna be like pretty insignificant compared to other maps. Wood Elves versus Dawi. Yeah, Wood Elves versus Dwarves is a hard one for the Wood Elves. Dwarves have a good matchup there. Because even like Haggard Dwarf Infantry can hold back pretty much all the Wood Elf Infantry. So you really just have to account for their missiles and Wild Riders. Yeah. I don't know, guys. The moment of truth is upon us. Gotham's reckoning, as we often say. Romulan just dropping the dogs in chat. Yeah, you could tell. Like, he knows. He knows. He's thinking hard. Man, and all the players have been pretty evenly matched today, too. It's been so great. And for anyone who's just joining now, the stream will be up probably in about 3 or 4 hours. It usually takes to like process and everything as a video. So you guys will be able to watch it later. Hey, Major Laser, thank you, man. Appreciate the kind words. Yeah, Vampire Coast is pretty good. There's not like too many hard counters to them. If you're a good Vampire Coast player, you can deal with any faction. Like to deal with elves, you just get a bunch of scurvy dogs and fellbats and just stress them out and use mortars. Lizardmen are a good pick by Chief. They don't have too many bad matchups, really. Lizardmen like can beat dwarves pretty well now. That is a really good pick by Chief. I don't think Lizardmen have that many bad matchups. They're like just a solid, durable faction. Yeah, so good pick there by Chief. He's going to be banning. I mean, yeah, you see, he's even struggling to think of a ban, right? Because he probably can't think of what's really bad. He's like, oh, well, I mean, nothing is that terrible for Lizardmen. Oh, yeah, Brian. I mean, pretty much everyone you see in these tournaments matches up well against me. I can compete with most of these guys, but they can compete with me, you know? Yeah. Hit that like button like hammers. Lizards don't have too many bad ones. Well, I probably shouldn't say anything. I mean, they don't have that many bad matchups, really. Well, there haven't been too many Purple Suns. He's banning vampire counts, which I don't... I think that the Lizardmen hard counter vampire counts. I do not agree with that ban. Granted, it's not a big deal, like I said, because I don't think there's too many bad ones. But, like, what else? The Lizardmen have so many good tools now with this new DLC. I'm surprised he banned the vampire counts. I feel like that's a really easy matchup. And Rixon goes Tomb Kings. This is, I mean, I think this is a fine matchup. I don't think it favors either one too much. I mean, Tomb Kings have some pretty good tools. Ushapti Great Bows, their constructs are quite effective here. Look, and you can see that's what Chief was saying. He's like, that's what I was thinking about. Like, vamp counts are easy. You just bring Croak and just nuke their infantry and then kill them with Carnosaurs. It's like, it's easy. But here, yeah, Wester, I know there's like a ton of Gotrek novels. I've only read the first 2 in the main omnibus, but eventually I'll get into them. You know what's really sad about reading for me is that holding open the books, pages of a book is actually painful in my hands. If I'm like reading for too long, my hands start to hurt. Kind of sucks. Yeah, I mean, I honestly think this isn't that bad. Like, Lizardmen can do it. They do very well here. Yes. Yeah, so we'll see, guys. Lady Turin says hello again, by the way. She's in chat anyway, so. Yeah, Croak is so good against vampire counts. It's like, it's brutal. My favorite faction to play competitively is Vampire Coast. And my favorite faction thematically and in general is probably the Dwarves. And Empire. But if I had to play for my life for a tournament, like I would play Vampire Coast all day. That's one of the few factions I can really hang with like top level guys. Yeah, it is horrible. It is horrible, my friends. But such is life. I don't even know, man. I just like, I beat my hands up my whole life and then I developed really horrible tendonitis and then, oh man, my body atrophied on my right side. It's a long story. I don't need to get into it, but yeah. No worries, no worries. Yeah. It's all good, though. It's all good. Yeah, I could get one of those things that, like, I mean, it's not that bad. It's just like, yeah, it gets, if I'm reading for a couple hours, it'll get there. Romulan Dog, a veteran tournament player, says that the Tomb Kings can be rough for Lizardmen if they have the right build. Yeah, it's true, ebooks too. I prefer to have the actual physical book in my hand though. There's something magical about it. It's a close quarters map, so I mean, honestly, both factions probably going to be aggressive here. I think Lizardmen have a good frontline engagement. Saurus trade pretty effective with Tomb King's infantry. Their dinosaurs, the Carnosaurs, are quite effective against constructs. It really comes down to a bit of a micro duel. So I think that this is a good finals here. I think it's two factions that doesn't blatantly favor one. I mean, there may be a small advantage in the increment of 5%, 5 or 10% maybe for one, but it's still not that significant in my opinion. All right, so let's go ahead and get rid of the blocker here. Palpatine has served us well this day. Thank you for your service. That will be your last bit here. Romulan says bow shopties, scorpions, cats, and Tomb Guard with halberds. Yeah, Tomb Guard with halberds are very good here. But alas, it looks like the build is somewhat similar to your articulation. So for the forces of the Tomb Kings, who are going to be led by Rigson, he's got a front line of Tomb Guard, which are mostly standard Tomb Guard. He does also have only 2 halberds, so not too heavy on the halberds. Granted, they're super good against dinos. They have AP, anti-large, they're good against Temple Guard, not a bad choice. 2 Shopti Great Bows, which aren't really going to suffer due to the close quarters map because they only have 255 range. So if you have them like back here, they're going to be able to net most of their value, which is going to be good. We do also have the Sphinx of Usef here, which is a good choice against big dinos. A fairly big target and quite expensive, but very powerful in its own right. And last but not least, we have Setra the Imperishable on his War Sphinx with the Desiccation, which is the AoE stat debuff. Oh, look at this cape. That looks so cool. God damn. And then he does also have Narrow's Incantation of Protection to buff himself and his fellow constructs. A fairly elite army, so let's see what the dinosaurs are going to do in response. So for Chief in the front line, he's got, let's see here, skin cohorts with javelins across the entire front line. Not going to be bad, just kind of peppering down some of those troops and just honestly getting them around the back and chasing the Shopties is going to be good. And now these Croc scores are actually really going to shine here due to the fact that Rigson did not bring too many halberds. They're going to have a lot of opportunities to just pound Tomb Guard. So he's got Saurus spears in the back, Saurus in the secondary line as well. Several groups of Croc scores. He's got 3 of those guys. And in the corner, he does also have Tehenowin, so Lizard Moses going to be dropping that Manscore summon in Wyson's Wild form. And then he does have the Umbral Tide. So these guys hit pretty hard against big targets with good micro. I actually can see these being pretty effective against like the constructs and things like that. They do fire damage. Cetra's weak to fire. There's some pretty good synergies here. So nice little army here from the Dinos, nice from the Tomb Kings, and honestly, based on what I see, I don't really have too many predictions. It seems like both players have cool armies. So standard Tomb Guard do decent against Saurus. Decent. Yes, I agree with you, Romulan. I think that I think Saurus will do well in the end, but yeah, it's going to be a good fight for sure. The Great Bows are going to be pretty good against the Croc scores and also against the Salamanders if they're able to get them. But the Umbral Tide does have stock, so you're not able to see them until they're very close. Romulan Dog says Rigson is a very experienced tournament player, and it's certainly showing. Both these players very, very solid players, and it is anyone's game. Engine of the Gods not so good in this matchup. To answer your question in chat, it's not good. It's just not good. Ushopti Great Bows will kill it. Its beam attack is too slow and crappy. It's just not a good unit. So. It's Lizard Moses, yeah. He's got the tablet. He's got the 10 Commandments. The first one being thou shalt kill Skaven. Yes, this is the first of his tablets, and the other ones I'm sure the Tomb Kings are on there somewhere. So, yeah. The Croxes, if they can stay away from the halberds, like you said, I think is going to be a very, very big aspect of this game. So we'll see how that goes. Ushopti Great Bows are going to be shooting in, going after the Skinks initially with their first volley, but again, that's just because they auto fire there. As soon as the Croc scores get in range, they're going to be going after those Croc scores, like 100%. Rigson has a pretty nice little tight formation, but there's plenty of room to get around the back. He's pretty good about not like... He usually takes defensive formations like towards the back, but he never like line camps from what I've seen, which is good. So he's going to be sitting back here. Lizards could easily envelop this and get around the back and just kind of pressure. Shopti Great Bows still just shooting in at the frontal targets. They could start shooting at Lizard Moses, honestly. It wouldn't be bad. I mean, he's pretty squishy. He only has 3,000 HP, give or take, so... The Umbral Tide's going to be coming in, looking for opportunities. Honestly, I think they should just mirror Cetra. Oh man, but that's a lot of big stuff for them to take out. I just feel like the Lizardmen don't have too many big, hard-hitting anti-construct targets, but we'll find out. So these Skeleton Warriors are going to be taking some Javelin volleys initially. A big thing for the Lizardmen is if they can kill the front line and get into the Ushopti Great Bows quickly, that is going to be pretty valuable here. So Lizard Moses, I expect a Manscore summon coming down. Croc scores in the back, taking some of that fire from the Ushopti. I think the Croxes need to get in there, and they need to start just pound sounding these guys, because you're not going to be able to really hide too much from the Ushopti. Yeah, he's just going to be charging in now, which is good. Now we have the Sphinx coming in, plus Cetra. They're going to bull rush this side of the formation, and this is going to be bad. The Croc scores on this side should probably run. Javelin's going down, but this is just going to be absolute pound town here on these dinosaurs. Thankfully, Saurus have good leadership. They don't break easily, and I don't know why the Croc Scores are taking this fight. Probably, honestly, just run back to the Spears and let the Spears kind of grind this one out. But over here, the Croc Scores are smashing pretty good. Skeleton Warriors on the flanks are going to be crumbling rather quickly to those Saurus, who do have 50+ weapon strength. Lizard Moses hasn't really casted too many spells yet, but the Manticore is going to be coming in. Manticore needs to go after those Ushopti Great Bows. That is probably going to be one of the best usages. Now, the Umbral Tide is taking Ushopti Great Bow Fire, but it's also shooting Cetra, getting some okay damage, but that Ushopti Great Bow Fire is hammering those Salamanders. They're having a really bad time, but getting okay damage. Narrow's Incantation is going to help quite a bit. Salamanders don't do magic damage, so that physical resist is going to be super important. And yeah, one of these Sallies are in trouble. I don't know if they're going to be paying for themselves. Manticore Summon in the back is going in there. Tomb King's shooting in with their bows. And the Lizardmen, though, are still having some good fights with the infantry department. But losing the Umbral Tide like that is not a fun situation. They're really fast. I mean, maybe he should have been like more wide route, like gone up and around the back and actually ambushed the Ushopti Great Bows with them. That could have been a little bit better, actually. So Croc Score is going to be attacking here. There's also going to be some sort of Spears fighting. Bounce power is still relatively even. The Tomb King's infantry is taking a pounding. Tomb Guard in reserve are going to be getting in there, but some skinks are actually getting pushed back. But for the most part, the Tomb King's infantry is probably losing the fights in most respects. So Skeletons are losing there. Manticore in the back is doing some work. It needs to keep chasing those Ushopti Great Bows. Those guys are going to be... The Croc Scores are going to have their work cut out for them. So here you can see Tehenowin is going to be fighting up against Cetra, which is certainly not a great trade. Granted, oh, is there going to be a new Ushopti summon coming down? No, it's actually probably going to be the second Manticore from Lizard Moses, which is going to help against Cetra, who's actually taking a bit of damage, and this Sphinx is actually kind of surrounded by the Croc Scores. And the Spears are poking it down. It's taking a little bit of damage, so man, very, very close fight here so far. Salamanders are nowhere to be seen. I'm pretty sure they just got like shattered and pushed off the battlefield. In the back, there's a massive onslaught, so this actually could be what Chief needs to take Rigson out. He needs to kill all these big targets, go after the Ushoptis with the Manticores and just swarm them with infantry. Without the Ushopti Great Bows, I think the Croc Scores are going to be a substantial threat. And yes, this big guy does have anti-large and he's great against Croc Scores, but even still, it's going to be, substantial. So you can see the bounce power actually going just back and forth. It was a little bit in the favor of the Lizardmen, simply because of the summons of the Manticores, but once they disappear, it will normalize. The Ushopti Great Bows here are getting worn down. The other ones up in the high ground are just being kind of beaten down by, skinks, which is enough. It adds up, right? Just need to break your leadership and crumble them. And now there's also going to be some Saurus up in the high ground for Chief, who can collapse on these Ushopti, which would be incredibly valuable. And you can see Chief immediately sees that. Rigson is going to be trying to pull back, and he actually does tear out the skink cell. So it's just going to be these Saurus here. But if Ushopti Great Bow are running, they're not getting you your value. So right here, it looks like Rigson might be able to hold. He does have Cetra in good shape. Croc Scores have 9 models here. Ooh, another 11 or 10 Croc Scores right there, and then we have another 11 there. So the Croc Score smash might be able to pull this out. Tehenowin is just shouting chants to his nearby lizards, just waving his tablet in there. Oh my god, he's so jacked. He's just like a skink on roids. Look at this guy. But he's going to be coming in, and his rear attack on the halberds is important because it does tank the leadership by 14, which means they're going to crumble that much quicker. Saurus are going to be able to kill the halberds. And yeah, it's really going to be constructs versus a massive horde. And if Tehenowin can live and just lead, Lizardmen are a faction that just do not break easily. Oh, you see that Manticore? He drifted through there. He was flying and circling. Man, that was intense. So these Croc Scores probably should pull back. Honestly, I would pull back on top of the Spears right now with these Croc Scores. Fighting here against these Sphinx isn't the best choice. Saurus in the high ground are going after the Great Bows, but Rigson might be able to stabilize the Great Bows, which would be incredibly valuable for him. Getting that firepower on top of the Croc Scores again would be game-changing. So the Saurus are going to keep chasing the healthy group. This other group of Ushopti Great Bows is in critical binding, -2, so they're back and forth between crumbling. But Lizard Moses and company are probably going to finish these halberds in a matter of 15-20 seconds here. These Croc Scores are still putting up a great fight against the Sphinx, but the Sphinx is going to be a substantial thing to do. Now, does he actually hit people with the tablet? That is a really important question, so let's watch Lizard Moses for a second. So he stabs there, does like a tail whip. Come on, please hit someone with that tablet. Please. So just so I can make a meme out of it. Okay, he kind of leaped there. Doesn't look like he hits anyone with the tablet, but perhaps we'll have to look at that in another video and see if he does. Because again, I don't want to miss... We're in the finals. I don't want to just focus on him beating people with the tablet. So, Saurus Warriors here are going to be chasing down Ushopti Great Bow, who are quite a bit faster, but even still, they're kind of tired. Very tired here, and then debilitated. So yeah, they're even more tired than the Saurus here. Debilitated is the equivalent of exhausted for the Tomb Kings and Undead units. The Saurus Spears here are actually going to be pretty important. Wyson's Wild Farm going down, which gives them a damage boost and also some armor. And the Saurus are going to be really, really important. Yeah, like I said. And the Sphinx is actually taking quite a bit of damage. The Croc Scores are still smashing away over here in this part of the formation. The Croc Scores might actually want to disengage and smash this part of the formation. I think that'd be pretty good. Oh, my laptop's trying to auto-update on me here. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. Very close fight. Both of these players know that all the marbles are on the line, so they're playing pretty careful. But the Tomb Guards with halberds are offline. Ushopti Great Bows here are crumbling with -25 leadership. Yeah, they're going to be going in. I mean, these guys are going to crumble. So, man, what a close fight between Chief and Rigson. A serious battle. These Saurus are true heroes, chasing these Ushabti to the edge of the map, so it looks like Rigson may have had them on auto run, so he ran to the edge of the map, and they're so debilitated. The Saurus are now exhausted, so, I mean, this is good, though. They're not shooting, and he really needs those against Croc scores. So Big Daddy Sphinx is getting dragged down. Rigson's Sphinx in a little bit of trouble here. Critical binding, -4, and it's really tough to terror out Lizardmen. I mean, they have such good base leadership that you really have to drag them down quite low. And Cetra's actually having problems with the Croc scores. The Croc score smash is doing some serious work, but there are some terror out issues amongst the very beat up units. Now, do we have Lizard Moses? Oh, Lizard Moses is coming in for blood. Look at him. He's got Weisson's Wild Form, which is going to give him 105 armor. Oh, Lizard Moses, where are you going? Yeah, get in there. He's going to, look at him. He's going to shank this thing. Oh, man, he came in there and just tail whipped that guy. So he does have good AP values. Lizard Moses is definitely equipped here, but he does get trampled, literally trampled. Yeah, his corpse trampled by the Sphinx. Well, it's not his corpse. He's still alive, so. And the Tomb Kings are actually able to kind of stabilize the situation. The Cetra is serving as a bit of a distraction card effects here, running out in the shadows. And we'll see what the players, yeah, just good luck, have fun. Cetra going to be going for some freebies, trying to get some skinks off the map. You know, if Cetra can pull, now this would be like a 200 IQ play. If Cetra could pull all the Lizardmen over here and fight them there and terror out them, because you can terror out the Croc scores, they would all run right off the map. And that would be game-changing. That would be potentially game-winning. So I don't know if he's going to see that play. He might. I think that Rigson knows. He's going to be going... Maybe trying to get around, yeah. So if he went to the edge of the map and then terror routed them by bringing the other Sphinx over there, he could probably terror out all these Croc scores off, which would be insanely powerful. That would be like game blouses. But I don't know if he's going to be going for that. So Lizard Moses is down here fighting amongst his people. He does have Weisson's Wild Form still probably active. Not active, but available, so he could do that on some of the troops. Saurus Spears are fighting against Tomb Guard, which isn't the best engagement. Spears, of course, aren't as good in those infantry fights. And Cetra's going to be coming in, maybe with some good terror outs, but that Croc score Death Ball is quite scary. Lizard Moses, honestly, if he gets Cetra and tries to goon out Lizard Moses here, that could be pretty big. Lizard Moses only has 1600 HP, and he's not very tanky, so Croc score smash coming in. He's going to be taking the fight with the Sphinx, and Lizard Moses as well is going to be poisoning him in just a second. So, does Lizard Moses have poison? No, he does. Henowin has poison. Yeah, that makes sense. Tomb Kings are crumbling on many fronts. That terror out play, I think, would have been one of the better ways to kind of win the game for him. Ushabti Greatbow up on the high ground, actually get caught by the Saurus and killed, and the other Ushabti Greatbow crumble as well. So very, very good determined pressure here from Chief, able to chase those guys down. Rigson may still have a chance due to terror. And it looks like there's going to be a curse. That curse quite substantial. That curse hits everything. It hits the Saurus, it hits the leadership, pretty good stuff there. And the Big Sphinx is going to be charging back in against the Crocsagores. These Crocsagores really proven to be MVPs this game, but yeah, a couple of them might get taken out here. There's 8 of them left. We have 1700 HP here. On Cetra we have about 3100. This is just such a close battle. I mean, the battle's a little bit in the favor of the Lizardmen right now, because obviously the Tomb Kings have like nothing left as it pertains to infantry. But Henowin is squishy, and it's just Crocsagores. I mean, honestly, the Tomb Kings could win this one. This is just, yeah, Saurus are a tough unit. Good leadership, they hit hard, they stay long. And there's 58 Saurus coming over here, but they're not the Spear, so they're not going to be as good against big targets. Honestly, oh, this is not good. Rigson with a beautiful play, he's able to knock Henowin out of his help. And if he could get a couple good attacks against Lizard Moses here, oh no, Lizard Moses laying on the ground actually ends up serving him there, so he gets pushed back a little bit. Crocsagores and company are rampaging in. The Sphinx is taking a little bit of incremental damage. Cetra the Imperishable is going to be dogpiling in. The bows are gone. This is such a crazy game. Oh, look at that Crocsagores with the terror route. This could be a chain reaction. This could be a chain reaction that changes the entire course of the game. So this Crocsagore just barely wavering. -1 leadership. He needs those guys. So Saurus Spears terror routing off pretty big. Cetra needs to go after Lizard Moses, I think. Try and goon him out. If you can get like 400, 800 damage on him, he's going to terror out. Oh, but Lizard Moses coming in with the Steel Tablet in the back, beating down the Sphinx, who has 900 HP, but the Sphinx turns around and clubs him. But since he is a Foot Lord, he's not going to be taking the damage like almost guaranteed, like a Lord on a Mount would. So, man, crazy stuff. The Sphinx is going to be trying to get over there. Cetra's doing the same thing. Cetra's going to be going in for the last Death Thrust here. Weisson's Wild Form overcasted is going to make this Lizardman army quite angry, but oh no, Henowin is going down. And look at the bounce of power. It's literally like a roller coaster right now. So Lizard Moses is terrified. If he could chase him off, maybe. If Cetra can chase him off, he might be able to win the fight against the Saurus. There's Crocsagores coming back in. Even though the bounce power is really bad, he needs to kill Lizard Moses. He needs to kill him, Cetra. Oh, go get him. And you can see the Sphinx actually crumbles to the horde of dinosaurs. Down he goes. The slow-mo fall. Spotting a couple Saurus on the way down. But Cetra, we'll see if he's imperishable. Bounce power is pretty rough for him right now. He does charge Lizard Moses. Lizard Moses is shaken, not stirred. Negative for leadership. He's going to break. Focus Instincts is going to de-rampage everything. But Cetra might just be going down due to army losses at this point. Because there's still a bunch of Lizardman stuff here. Swords count for a lot in regards to the army losses, and Setra the Imperishable is going to be going down. And Chief is going to be the champion of today's Eternal Challenger League qualifier. What a series. Tehenwin with the Shanks, doing beautiful work the entire game, and that was a close game. That was a close game. Chief pulling it out, game 5. What a match. What a match. So Chief is going to win the series 3-2. This has got to be one of the best Eternal Challenger League qualifiers we've ever had. Close games, long games. We're at the 3 hour and 17 minute mark. We went deep, boys. Man, that was good. Boys and girls, I should say. Moses versus Ramses too. Oh my God. He died, but a heroic sacrifice indeed. Well played. Rigson says, I'm going to have a nap. It's 7 a.m. in Australia. Let's hear a big round of applause for Rigson. Beautiful games. It's in Australia. He played from 4 a.m. till 7 a.m. A true hero. Entertaining you guys, so we got to give him some mad props. That was great. And even bigger congratulations, of course, to Chief, who is going to be etching his name into the tablet of Blizzard Moses. So let us go ahead and have the ritual. Going to be representing Clan BBB in Spain as well. So let us go ahead and go here. We're going to go to the tablet. And let us add his name. And we're going to do text and Chief. He shall be etched in. That was a great series. That was a really, really good series. And Chief is going to be getting his name added here. So let's go ahead and add him just like so. And there we go. What a day. What a day. Do drop a like if you enjoyed the stream. It helps out quite a bit. Also, when you like the videos, it lets YouTube know to recommend it. So then it shows it to other people who are interested in the game. So, yeah. That was really good. Man, if only every series could be as good as those ones. Right? Well, that's going to conclude today's games. This Eternal Challenger League. So far, we have 2 more qualifiers left. The qualifiers henceforth have been Zyphos, El Halcon, Felcon, Romulan Dog, Wareja, and Chief. This is going to be a fierce finals. Just brutal games. Man, I'm excited for that. Yeah, Riggs playing at 7 a.m. for the people. I know, people's champion for sure. I know Felcon is indeed the destroyer. He's the returning champion. He's going to have some intense fights. But also, guys, I want to give a special thanks to all of you guys for joining, and also to those who now are sponsors of the channel, as well as donations here. We have One Man's Way with the 10, Radio Cost with the new membership. Thank you for joining. Babel Triumphant with the 5, One Man's Way with donations as well as sponsored. Man, thank you. 421 Bud, thank you for the membership. Tiamat 64, again, thank you for being a member and sponsoring for all these good years. One Man's Way with some fat ones, with a fat 30. Jason Denny with the 1999, the special. The Spirit of Gorg not only donated, but also wrote some very good little poems there. In the spirit of Total War Warhammer. We have the Magic D. Jason Denny again. Man, like just coming in with a steel chair every single time. And Mads Bo Anderson, who is now a member of the channel. All right, guys. That's pretty great. We're in good shape. I believe Zyphos is French. El Halcon, I think, is... I'm not sure where he's from. I'd have to ask. Felcon, I believe, is Russian. Romulan is American. Wareja, I think Wareja is Polish. I'm not sure. And then Chief, I believe, is Spanish. So yeah, we have pretty good representation. We'll have like a World Cup, basically, at the Grand Finals, which is going to be really fun. All right, guys. It's time. I'm going to go hang out with my lovely wife, get some food. And until next time, we're going to have the next one. Probably, we might have it in the week, or it'll be next Saturday. I'm not really sure, because I have to drive Lady Turn to the airport on the 23rd. So that is going to be... So it certainly won't be that Saturday or Sunday. We'll probably have it during this next week, because I want to spend some time with her before she goes back to Poland to visit her family. All right, guys. So stay tuned. Updates will be on Twitter, as well as the community section, all that good stuff. Discord, you guys know the drill. So guys, thank you so much for joining. You guys are awesome. And we will see you guys next time. El Champo's Spanish as well. All right. Very cool. All right, guys. See you next time. And thanks for joining.